Yeah, I think when you talk about, first the news of Dikembe passing is sad, and our prayers and thoughts go out to his family. Um, but when you talk about a great human being, um, on and off the floor, the things that he did for his country, the hospital, um, he's going to be dearly missed. When you talk about an angel, unfortunately, he was taken a little bit too soon, from us. But what he was on the court, when you talk about Defensive Player of the Year, that protecting the rim, playing the game the right way. Um, that was Dikembe, and I got to play with him in Jersey. And he's an incredible teammate, one of the best teammates I've had, and so he'll be dearly missed.
If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll bring you the mic.
Hi, Jason. You've been through the experience as a player going to the finals and obviously winning it, but also going to the finals and coming up short. I wonder how you can maybe use that experience to help your players navigate the follow-up to the kind of season they had last year.
Yeah, I think when you talk about last season, it was last season. This is a different team. Understanding that we have to be hungry. We haven't done anything. We came in second, but we did do a lot of positive things. So to learn from, and if we are lucky enough to be in that same situation, we can use that experience to win a championship. The expectations are extremely high, and I think everyone's comfortable with that. We're not going to run from the expectations. We're going to work, and in that locker room, the expectation is to win a championship, and hopefully we're lucky enough to be put in that situation. The league is as good as it's ever been. When you talk about the Western Conference, it's depth. The Eastern Conference, there's no nights off, and so each game is going to mean something. You look at the start of the season, you look at the in-season tournament. There's a lot to be played for early on, and so with what Nico and Patrick have done, with the depth of our team, to be able to go out and get the pieces, young and older, it hopefully puts us in a position to be one of the teams that can come out of the West.
On paper, it appears that you have 3 starting guards. I was wondering if you could explain, how it's going to work, X and O wise.
Yeah, on paper we got a lot of starting guards, starting centers. We got a lot of starters, and so I think when you look at training camp and you just talking to the guys before I came out, we're gonna instigate competition in training camp. We're going to instigate competition in practice, to make each other better, to make the game easier. And so we'll see how that pans out, who starts. We know that we can go out on a limb and say there's 2 guys or 3 guys that are going to start. But I think when you talk about the season, as I just talked with the guys too about, injuries, being able to be ready to start, or to, if you feel like you're on the 3rd team, there could be an injury. Now you're going to be a backup, and the backup becomes a starter. But we're not afraid to start the 3rd string either. And so just being prepared, and those guys understand that. They've worked extremely hard this summer, and we do have a lot of guys who want to play. And we're going to try to figure out on this journey to get everybody the proper minutes. But everything we're doing is to win a championship, and so we all have to sacrifice. We're going to sometimes, put our individual goals to look at the team goal first. And if we can do that, that puts us in a good seat.
Hey, Jason, a couple questions for you. One, in terms of the center spot, your thoughts on, Gafford or Lively, is that a competition as you go into camp in terms of that starting job? And then also on Klay, obviously this is one of the all-time great shooters. Easy to see what he can do for you guys there. What can you guys do for him to make the adjustment, the transition easier on him?
Yeah, great questions, Tim. If I forget one, you got to remind me, because thank you. The first one is there's, as I talked about, competition. David talked about the guard situation, the center competition. When you talk about Gaff and D Live, 48 minutes of rim protection, both offensively can catch the lob. If you ask Gaff and D Live, they both can shoot threes. And so you look at the talent. Now you also have DP at center, and then also Maxi, and so there's a lot of ways we can go with the center position. But I think with the competition at center is great, and it's a healthy competition because they both support each other. It's kind of like the relay race, the baton. One's on the floor, the other one's cheering, and then when D Live comes out, he gives the baton to Gaff, and he takes it from there, and they just flip flop. And so that worked well for us last year. And there was a point where we started Gaff, and things went well. And then there's a point in the season where we started D Live. So I think we can look at both of them. We're going to have the opportunity to start, and at some point in this season, not just because of injury, but we'll see how one is playing and if we can help the other. So to answer your question, it's open, but also we're gonna probably start D Live with the first group and see how that goes. Yeah, I think we're going to go back and look at what we did with some of the guys that we've had in the past to try to get their feet on the ground. Is the sooner the better. When you talk about Kai and different guys that we've had in a trade, we can look at PJ and Gaff. How do we help them get their feet on the ground on the run? And so from past experiences, being with the team for a long time, it takes a little time because there are different names, different people. But what Klay here, just watching him of late, he's ready to go, and we're very lucky to have him on our side. And so, but I think he can answer that question. I think he feels at home, and he's excited about this new chapter in his career.
Hey, Jason, I'm curious when, after the finals, when it was that you took a look at what happened to do a deeper dive, sort of dissect the series, what you found, like how close you feel you actually were beyond how the series played out, and then how much closer does Klay Thompson get you to where you want to be?
Yeah, I think the deep dive, just understanding Boston's a good team. They're the champ. They beat us in that series. They were the better team in that series. And so, but when you look at, the things that we could have done differently, our offense, if we could have shot the ball better, maybe that gives us a better chance. If we could have bottled up game 4 and made that game 3, and it goes back 2-2, back to Boston, is it a different series? So the what ifs, yes, you look at, but also you got to push forward, because you can always second guess yourself, but you can learn from that situation as players and coaches, and we all did. And so that to have Klay can shoot the ball. Every time he lets it go, it looks like it's going in. And if he does miss one, it just adds to the percentage of will he make the next one. And I think we haven't had that here for a while. We've had shooters, but we haven't had a Jason Terry or Klay Thompson. You know, this is rare air when you talk about Klay. He's going to go down as one of the best shooters of all time, and so to have him on our side, it just makes the game offensively easier. Spacing is a big thing in this league, and he creates that gravity. Gaff and D-Live and the guys setting screens for him will definitely get him a Christmas gift, hopefully, because the game will become easier for them. And so when you look at teams that can make the game easy, Boston, ourselves, those are the ones that can win championships.
Jason, you've made 2 deep playoff runs with a couple of pretty dramatically different teams since you've been here, and on the talent acquisition points along the way, you've always said, you know, you got to accumulate talent, and the team's always going to be different. So here you are again, getting ready with another major change, and how does that mentality help you, and just sort of understanding that the team's going to be different, pretty kind of a constant churn sort of thing?
Yeah, I think it is different. But the core has kind of been together here for a little bit, and so being consistent in that area. But it's exciting. This is probably one of the most exciting training camps that I've been a part of, except probably in Brooklyn, when you had the Hall of Famers that I had the opportunity to coach. I'm pretty much back in that same seat when you talk about future Hall of Famers with Kai, Klay, and Luka. And so to be able to have this opportunity offensively, our goals should be high. Now, there's going to be nights where we can't throw it in the ocean, but can we play defense that night? And then that's going to be the challenge for this group. As we saw last year, we struggled at the beginning with defense, and then we kind of figured it out after All-Star break, and we started to play it at a high level and understood that defense is what wins games, and so hopefully we can find that in Vegas, our defense early, and be able to build from there. But this is a different group, and so it's going to take time for chemistry. It's going to take a little time to understand what we can truly do. So hopefully we're patient publicly, but we're excited. We're healthy, and we're excited about camp. Kind of looking at camp last year in Abu Dhabi and Madrid was a great time for the group to start that chemistry and understand each other. And you saw that when we came back. No one asked about Kai and Luka. Now it'll just be about Klay, and so that's kind of cool that it's just about one person. So, but we do have some other guys that I think are going to have a major impact on this group when you talk about Naji and Grimes. And so those are the 2 newcomers, but there's a gentleman that's been here for a little bit, and Hardy, he's been patiently waiting, and so he's going to get his opportunity too. So it is different. This is different than last year, and but it should be fun, and it will be fun.
Jason, last season Derrick Jones served a role for you guys where he would guard down, he would take point guards and quicker guards. Who on this roster do you see being able to pick up, that defensive responsibility? And if the starting lineup ends up being Luka, Kyrie, Klay, and PJ, how do you, who are you looking to fill that position and to be able to guard players like that when you come across them?
Luka. Why not? Well, that's a good start. It's going to be a committee. I think this league is about matchups and being able to get the matchups right. There's going to be times where Luka's going to have to guard someone, and that's just part of being the best in the world. And I don't think he's going to run from that. And so, but Kai and Klay, there's going to be a committee of guys that we're going to have to guard. But the beauty about our defense is that we're here to help each other. And you've seen that here over the last couple of years. As much as we talk about the individual, we're built on team defense, and so there's going to be nights where Luka's going to have to guard maybe someone a little bit quicker. There's not, and he'll tell you there's not too many guys that are as fast as him. So, but it'll be a great challenge for our group, and we look forward to that. But I know everybody thinks I was joking, but there is some seriousness that Luka's going to have to guard somebody.
Luka, back here. I hope you had a good summer. I wanted to ask, what was your initial reaction when you learned that you guys were getting Klay Thompson?
Unbelievable. I mean, he's a four-time champion. He's an amazing player. So I was very excited, that he signed with us. I can't wait to play with him.
Luka, you said last year, toward the end of the finals, that obviously a learning experience for you. After you got away, were able to process it some, what did you take away from that? How do you think that experience can make you better moving forward?
I think just the experience to being in the finals, I think it's different than other games. I don't know why, I can't explain, but just being there feels different. And obviously last year wasn't good enough. We wanted to win it all. So that's like when I say you're gonna learn, it's the same as motivation. It's a big motivation to win it.
All right, Luka. So you wear Jordan Brand. This is your third signature shoe. I want your thoughts on it and how excited it's for you to continue to have your own shoe for the brand.
I mean, that's basically what every kid dream about. What I dream about, to have my own shoe and to have it in company. I mean, if you say company, MJ, Michael Jordan, it's a dream come true for real. And all the experience I've been through with Jordan, so it's really a pleasure to have this shoe.
Luka,
how important was it for you this?
Go ahead, Dorothy. You got it, Dorothy.
How important was it for you this summer to just have some time to be a dad, to relax, kind of hang out? How did it help you to get ready for this season?
Well, it was big time. Obviously I had some stuff to do. I went straight to the national team. But after national team, got some rest, be a dad, like you said. So it was really great summer. But now we're ready to work.
Luka, I know you said Klay is unbelievable to have him on the team. How do you think he's going to change the offense and change just how you guys play on that end, having a shooter of that level?
I mean, you basically can't help off him. When me and Kai, when we have the ball, you basically can't help from Klay because if you leave him wide open, he's going to make it. So I think the spacing is going to be crucial for us. And, but more of that I will tell you after a couple of games.
So more dunks from you this season?
No. Maybe.
Luka, right. After the finals run, obviously there's a lot of expectations that come with that. But how do you personally deal with the expectations and all the extra noise that comes with you being expected to fight your way back there again?
I love it because that means we did something great, something good. I've been dealing with this since Real Madrid, so I'm used to it. But I think for the whole team, that should be as motivation. You did something good, so people expect you to be good, and that's a good sign.
Luka, Landon Thomas, Mavs fans for life. Last year, the team went to Abu Dhabi and Madrid as well, and that was a big bonding experience for the team. Now going to Vegas this year, how do you see that trip going for the team with new players?
I mean, yeah, it's always a great experience. I remember last year, we had a great time. We practiced hard. So for a team to be together, not just in Dallas where everybody have homes, just to be together, go to dinner and do stuff together. It's a big part of chemistry.
Luka, Landon Beaver with LandonBeaver.com, sorry. Thoughts about being a part of Goran Dragic's retirement game?
Yeah, it was a big deal. He had an amazing career. A lot of great names were there. It was really fun, so he deserved that last game for his career.
All right, we got time for one more.
Just one word for this season. You got me there. One word. Championship. That's the goal. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Luka.
Hi, Klay. Dorothy Gentry. I'm Messenger Media. You talked this summer to some campers about joy and about keeping their joy. So can you elaborate more on the importance of joy? And if you're on your own journey back to your joy?
That's a great question. I did mention that to those young athletes because I was once in their shoes, and when you're so desperate to make it in the professional world, you kind of will put this unnecessary pressure on your shoulders, and I was really a culprit of that, especially in college, my rookie year, my first couple years in the NBA. And that can kind of get in the way of why you do play basketball. That's because it is the most fun sport in the world, most unique sport in the sense you can work on it individually or with 9 other players on the court. So I just tried to emphasize that when I was around them because if you're positive always and you're joyful, you'll get the most out of your ability, and then you can look back on your career one day and say you did everything you could to, be the best athlete you could be.
Hey, Klay. Landon Thomas, Mavs Fans for Life. First of all, welcome to Dallas.
Thank you.
Just first of all, how's it feel wearing that jersey?
Feels awesome. Feels really good.
And then second of all, when you saw this team in the finals, obviously you envisioned yourself, but just what areas can you see yourself helping this team not only getting back to the finals, but winning on the championship?
Well, I think my game complements the roster very well, especially from a perimeter scoring aspect. I think I'll help space the floor for guys like Luka and Kyrie to do their thing, and just being here this week and playing with our team and building chemistry with our big guys and our guards, giving our offense kind of a whole new dimension. And I could see us, that's why I was here in the first place, because I saw how close they were to winning a championship, and the opportunity to do that again, I don't take it for granted, and I'm going to work my hardest to try and get us back there.
I guess your thoughts about playing in the Zekin this summer, and then also D Rose retiring after 16 years.
Well, it was really fun linking up with Isaiah again. Me and Isaiah go way, way back. Him being a Seattle kid, now he's from Portland. A lot of childhood memories playing against each other. Then at the collegiate level, Washington State. So he actually knocked me out of the Pac-10 tournament. So it was kind of full circle to be able to go support him and the community he's from. And then secondly, seeing Derrick retire, it's end of an era. And what an amazing athlete Derrick was. An incredible story. That's like a Hollywood film. His life was just to be from Chicago, #1 pick, youngest MVP of all time. You couldn't write a better story. And I'm happy that he's getting his recognition, because he, at his peak, he was like one of the greatest seasons I've ever seen. His highlights are being played to this day and will forever be played because they were so spectacular.
Hey, Klay, Tim McMahon, ESPN. Obviously, new system for you, new teammates. From a X's and O's standpoint, what do you think the biggest adjustments for you will be, and what can be done to kind of establish that comfort level early and ease that process for you?
I think from an X's and O's standpoint, I'll have to adjust to maybe playing off such good creators. In Golden State, it was very motion-based offense. but I mean, just being able to play with Luka for the last few days, his ability in the pick and roll is like maybe the best I've ever seen. And, you know, it'll be fun to play with him in those sets because he draws so much attention and he gets so many open looks from the perimeter. So I'll be there to knock him down. And then I think it will take a couple weeks, you know, just to get used to this new system. But luckily, opening night's not till the 22nd, I think. So this preseason might be the most important one I've had in so many years. And, you know, I can't wait to get going tomorrow and learn this system. But I do know I'm a hooper, so I can adjust accordingly, and I look forward to doing that.
Klay, just today, Jason Kidd was talking about what happened in the finals. He said the Mavericks couldn't shoot and said, you can. Kyrie said that with you here, now their dreams are possible. What does that mean? You've accomplished everything in your career, but what does it mean to hear that, you know, from your new coach and a new star teammate?
It means a lot. It gives me confidence to keep working hard and be myself. Obviously, Kyrie and I have a deep history, being drafted together, same class, to competing against each other in the finals, to gold medal victories. So that was a huge reason why I am here, was because Kyrie spoke that highly of me and him believing that I could help us achieve those goals. And also with Mr. Kidd, I mean, what a legend. I grew up watching him, and you watch his highlight tape, there's still, Luka's close, but there's still passes that have never been done before that he was doing. And I'm just excited to learn from him. What a great basketball mind he has. And wow, that means a lot that they really believe those things, because I do too. And I'm so excited to get to work. I love this team, and being around these guys for the last 8-9 days has been amazing. And I think we have all the ingredients for a championship.
Chris Henderson, chendo.com. So, you know, I remember in Golden State when KD got there, the question was, well, how can everybody shoot the ball? And you actually average a shot more per game, and your scoring went up. And I think that's a unique skill for a future Hall of Famer, that you understand your role. Game 6 Klay always comes out eventually. For the younger guys that need to learn that, hey, you don't have to be the star to be effective. Can you talk about that? And I do have a follow-up question to that.
That's actually a great point. I mean, we have two superstars in Luka and Kyrie. Those guys can go get it at any time they want. But what I tell everyone else on the squad, I'm like, guys, every championship experience I've had, it's been a deep, talented roster. You know, you got your two superstars, but there's always so much talent throughout the whole team, and we complement each other so well, because what I might be deficient in, Naji Marshall can pick up, his ability to guard or switch. Same with Quentin. So we got guys who can play off each other. I'm excited to play with our big guys. I mean, two of the better vertical spacers in the NBA, and Daniel and Derrick. And that helps my game so much, because the off-ball screening action, having two big men who can go dunk on your head is the best. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm just like here to give out my knowledge and be a leader, and above all, try and win as many games as possible. You know, the numbers and the individual stuff is cool, but I was so attracted to the Mavericks because of the chance to win.
Follow-up question. So I've asked the other three guys this. You got Jordan Brand with Luka. You got Spencer with 361. You with Anta. You got a teammate that has a signature shoe as well. How cool is that Anta has two signature athletes on the brand now? And is there going to be a competitive rivalry who has the best looking PE colorways?
No, it's all love, and that's amazing. I know Kyrie just got back from Asia, and it's really cool to know that Luka has his own signature shoe. I mean, deservedly so. The guy's putting up historic numbers. But we're just lucky because we're beneficiaries of the game of basketball and how global it's become. So we got to pay respects to the legends before us who really globalized this game, and we're just reaping the benefits of being able to go to Asia or Europe or Africa and grow the game. It's a true blessing, and I don't take it for granted.
You're just talking about the motion offense and Luka playing pick and roll. Just to provide one example, I mean, you took more shots coming off screens last season than the entire Mavericks, like every player combined. Where's the balance between you adjusting to Luka, who's of course going to run his pick and rolls? That's what this offense is based off of, versus the Mavericks also implementing stuff, some stuff that you're more familiar with, that you've succeeded with throughout your career.
That's exciting. I mean, it kind of adds a whole new dimension to our team, being able to have a player like me who can draw the defense just by cutting through the lane or using an off-ball screen, a pin down, and taking two defenders with me. But I know I'll have to obviously adjust to Luka. Luka's the system. He's an MVP front runner, and that's a huge reason why I came here, was to help alleviate some of the pressure he deals with on a nightly basis and the defenses he sees. And you saw that in the finals. They had so many big wings to throw at him. So hopefully we can get a great chemistry going, and we'll try different lineup combinations. But at the end of the day, it's a great problem to have. Someone who can. Just as much talent we have, it's a really good thing.
All right, I'm sorry, guys. Clay's got to run.
right.
Appreciate it, Clay. Thank you.
Everybody doing well? Good to see you guys again. It's too freaking soon, but come on.
That's what happens when you play into June.
For sure.
2 questions. One, how is your thumb? And then bigger picture, I know you played with Klay before with Team USA, but what was your reaction to finding out that you were going to be teammates full-time with him?
Well, my hand's a lot better. Unfortunate circumstances, but also I think it was much needed in terms of just how to slow down after a long season like we had. And I was playing, 3 days after we lost in the finals, just because I didn't know how to transition out of just that competitive space. It's been a minute since I've been able to be at that top level, and it hurt a lot. It was disappointing, and all I knew at that time was go to the gym and get some more work in. So I think breaking my hand gave me much needed rest time. It took me about 8 weeks to heal from that. So from about July or so, beginning of July until now, I've just been trying to get back and get into the swing of the rhythm of basketball, and also take more time to rest and recover. Again, the summers are always filled with obligations and responsibilities, and you guys get a brief view on my social media what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm usually busy. And this summer I got a chance to travel with my family to Italy, to Egypt, to Greece. Then I finished my summer in Thailand and China. Got a chance to experience that with my family and my Anta team and other brands that I work with and other great partners. So yeah, my hand's doing well. And then to answer your second question, Klay, that was a big splash in the summertime. I was letting kind of you guys, the media, give the excitement and what you guys thought of us all of a sudden becoming a big three now between me, Luka, and Klay. And I think if you ask any of us, we feel like we got better as a team. We got better as a group that has leadership and also experience, especially on that championship stage. It's easy to kind of quote unquote convince Klay to come here because of just what I had experienced thus far in the past year and a half of just being welcomed and embraced. And I don't mean that cliche. I mean that truthfully here in the South, in Dallas. Southern hospitality is real. This team does a great job of protecting you, not just on the court, but off the court. And they go out of their way to make sure you feel special, and again, I don't mean to be cliche, but not every NBA team is the same. And I think being here in Dallas gave him an outsider's view of just what it could be like for him. So I'm excited that he decided to come here, decided that he decided to commit to us for the next few years. And I feel like our dreams can be possible because he's here now and he's added some great value to our championship aspirations.
Kai, can you talk about Derrick Rose's legacy and just being able to play against him after retirement?
Yeah, where are you? Oh, okay, sorry, brother. Say that one more time. I just want to make sure. Oh yeah, shout out to Pudini. Huge shout out to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Derrick Rose. it's not like he's leaving the game forever. I think it's about time that he got his flowers, and he took full control over his career of just how it was for him. I think we've all kind of been in, or tried to be in D Rose's shoes of understanding what it's like to be at the top of your game, top of your craft. You're in your prime at 20 years old, and then to go through a traumatic injury like a torn ACL, and then have to go through an MCL injury and then more surgeries. And I just really admire a guy like that and respect a man like that, because of course he takes care of his family and his wife, and that's just one thing to see, but the way that he's led by example for all of us in his own way. And he really taught me how to persevere, and I took things from his journey even before he got into the NBA and made it my own. He comes from a rough side of Chicago. The statistics really said that he shouldn't have made it out. And he carved away by utilizing basketball as a vehicle to put his family in a different position, put his friends in a different position. So there's so many different things that I admire and respect about that guy, because, when I was 19 getting ready for the draft, I remember watching him, and I was in Chicago at a playoff game. And it was probably the first time I had told myself that I wasn't as quick as somebody on the court, or who wasn't as explosive. That I don't think we will ever see something like that again in that framework or frame of body. Obviously, we have comparisons, but when D Rose came into the league, he really set the point guard role at a different precedent, and he made us all get better. You look at the era of point guards I grew up in with Russ, D Rose, Steph. Obviously you got the later in his career, J Kidd, Steve Nash, John Wall, Damian Lillard. All of us have taken bits and pieces from each other's games, but our stories is what connects us forever. So D Rose is definitely on that list of some of my favorite people in the world and one of my favorite players.
Can you talk a little bit about this summer, spending time with your dad, honoring your mom, what she really shining? Just what does that mean?
Well, I was scared to sign my dad as a signature athlete initially because I wasn't sure about the response. And then I thought about the response and I just stopped caring right at that moment, just because of how elated I was to be able to sign my dad. And ultimately, when I signed my dad, it's like me signing my family. So to see him step into a new position, to understand and empathize with what I've had to deal with being a signature athlete since I was 22 years old. He had to do photo shoots. He had to be on the road with me. He had to do everything that he had prepared me for. So it was interesting to see the roles reversed and to see him be proud of signing autographs for fans and being able to have his own colorway, be able to honor his late wife, my mom. So it's just all about us turning our struggle into our strength and being proud of our story and where we come from. Statistics said that my dad shouldn't have made it out either, or my family, and we all made it out of the Bronx, New York, moved to New Jersey, and now we're thriving and flourishing because we were able to sacrifice a lot of things that we loved when we were younger. They were younger, my aunts, my dad, my uncle, in order for us, the cousins, my kid, the kids now to be able to thrive. So to pay that forward it's amazing, and I don't take it for granted. If anybody else out there is running a shoe brand, I'm not trying to give you any ideas, but signing your family is like one of the greatest things you could do, one of the greatest accomplishments. I love making sure that he has his own shoe in the closet and he sees me on court wearing something that he designed, something that he was honoring our family with. So I know my family's proud of him too.
Kyrie, one of the things that you've done really well in your career is finish at the rim. Sometimes you fall down. As you get older, are you mindful of that? Will you try to avoid that as you get older, just to
You trying to
avoid
age me,
injury?
bro?
What's that?
You trying to age me even more?
No, we
bro?
all do.
Like,
Yeah. No, is it
like
something?
you know what I mean? I was drafted at 19. There's a few guys in my draft class that are like 35, 36 now. But no, I'll answer. Yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut
So
you off.
do you try to avoid that? Do you try to are you mindful of it so you avoid those situations, so you just take yourself out of those potential scary scenarios where something may just kind of go sideways on you?
I think it. I would say the change, or kind of the difference between when I was 19, 20, my early years in attacking the rim versus now is just outside of injuries. It's just when you're going up there with guys that are 7'2", 7'3", or 6'10" with a lot of athleticism, you're going to take some hits, and you just have to learn how to fall as well. And to all the young kids out there, or even some of my peers, just learning how to fall is also a key to longevity. You can't control it all the time, but when you can, do so. And that starts in the weight room, starts in the little nuances of the game that I work on to help me with my balance and just also my core strength, and also being mentally confident and prepared for taking those hits. And I think even to add on to that, I've just become more of a 2-foot jumper than just a single-foot jumper at the rim, just being able to have more options off of 2 feet. And then if I do need to finish off of 1, then still being aggressive and athletic enough to do so. And I still think I can improve on my at the rim finishing. I think last year wasn't one of my best years of finishing at the rim, but I think it was, that's just my opinion, right? It's just my opinion. I think I can still improve on just attacking the rim and being able to finish more plays, especially as I looked at the Western Conference Finals and the Celtics series.
Chris Henderson, CHendo.com. This is a 2-part question for you. So you talked about the culture, right, in Dallas. The fans have embraced you. I want you to go back to the ANTA event in Deep Ellum and how big that was for the city and what you were able to do with that and just being able to embrace the fans so fast. Like they took you under their wing. And the second part is you've done this twice now. So when you were with Nike, you and LeBron both had signature shoes. Now you're with the Mavericks and you're with ANTA. You and Klay have signature shoes on the ANTA. Can you talk about how cool that's going to be? And is there going to be a little competition who has the better looking PEs?
Well, shout out to Deep Ellum for hosting us, Sneaker Politics. That was an incredible event. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, so I really had an open mind, to how the rollout was going to happen. But I think it went better than I dreamt, just because of, again, the warm embrace and also just the fans that pulled up. Whether they were a fan of me, and most importantly, whether they're a fan of Dallas, they really showed love, and they showed my family love too. And I think even just to not mince my words or fall short on it, but anytime you do something in a city where you're not from, or your state where you're not from, you just don't know how people are going to react, and especially when you have to use product as a communicating piece, or art as a communicating piece. I'm as human as they come, so I try to engage with as many people as I can, and that's what I felt like I got a chance to do in Deep Ellum. I got a chance to see everybody there and connect with them in a deeper form, to create more of that organic energy, that love, and give it back to them. I'm a person of reciprocity. You give me love, I try to give that back to you, and when I give you love, I'm not expecting love back from you all the time, but I just let you know that there's some good people out here that care for you. And then to answer your second question with Klay, of course there's going to be competition. There was competition with my dad on who had the better signature series. So, even when I was with Nike and Bron and stuff like that, it wasn't a terrible thing to have healthy competition in this space. I think it only made us better. And, me and Klay have had short conversations about ANTA, but not deep conversations. I think you'll see more collaborations from us. I think you'll see more apparel collaborations from us. There's just another opportunity for us to build. ANTA's huge in China, and introducing the brand here in America, that's our next phase. We're in a competitive pool with some of the best brands in the world. We feel like we're one of the best brands in the world as well. So, we have champions there. We feel like it's a winner's brand. We feel like we stand on principles and morality instead of just taking money and trying to do whatever you want with it. It's really just geared back to helping out our people. So, it's just great to have a teammate here that I could be on the floor with, and also somebody I could be in the boardroom with and making business decisions. So.
With Real Talk Sports, thank you so much for your time. You mentioned reciprocating the love. We definitely appreciate your time today. I know you're very big on staying present in the moment. So if you could title this chapter of your life, what would that title be?
I don't know if I have a name yet. I'm just letting it be. Just letting it be, just taking it one day at a time. Yeah, but this next chapter in itself, what it means to me is, just all the lessons that I've been able to learn since being in the NBA. And being on my 14th year, like I really am an old head now. I accept that. I'm not an unk yet, so to say, but being 14 years in any business and you're starting day one again, you just try to find that motivation of the refreshing mentality you need. You need to come in with a new verve, and also be able to grow with the people that you were with in the past year, and continue to challenge each other in a healthy way and love on each other, and anything's possible from there. So we do have some carryover from last year. some new faces, but I feel like the culture being built here, especially by our upper management, has done amazing things for us as players to be ourselves and continue to be the best version of ourselves on the court.
And then if I could ask you to elaborate, you mentioned traveling different places with your kids as well. As a dad, what is it like for you to give them those experiences? I used to live overseas because my dad was in the military, and that's such a unique experience.
Yeah, it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. I was climbing in the pyramids with my kids, my 2 boys. So to have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old in the pyramids, and we're climbing down, a couple hundred feet, we just took in those moments as much as we could, and be as patient with the kids, just walking down there, because yes, they are aware of what's going on, but I know that it'll make more sense as they get older. So I'm glad that we can create those memories now. And I finally got a chance to vacation since I think like 2018, 2017. Just every summer has felt like rehab or getting ready for the season, or just, the season starting around the corner. So I'm just grateful that I was able to do that.
We got time for one more.
Kyrie, I think most people would consider you and Luka and Klay to be guards, although Luka has a power forward's body. How do you envision that?
Let Luka hear that shit, man. Oh my God.
How do you
He's a guard with a power forward's body. Come on, bro.
He's a big dude. How do you envision that playing out on the court, not only offensively but defensively?
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting figuring out process. We're starting from day one together, which I'm grateful for, but the rhythm that we're going to need in order to beat the best of the best is going to have to be at a different level than it was last year. But I feel like we all have great attitudes towards one another in terms of our skill sets and how great we are. Watching guys' faces light up when Klay makes a shot, and whether it be a difficult shot for most of us, it looks easy for him. And when you're around someone that's special at a craft and a skill set, it's nothing like asking that person about what makes them great. Why does he continue to stay motivated at what he does? And I feel like the same thing for Luka and same thing for myself. We all are curious about the game and how we continue to get better, but we're also very selfless in our approach to wanting to see each other do well and ultimately win basketball games for the team. So I know a lot of the pressure or the eyes are going to be on me and Klay and Luka, but for us, we've done a great job, even just from afar, just distributing that responsibility. Because I'm going to be needed in different situations. He's going to be needed in different situations, meaning Klay. Luka's going to be needed to be in different situations. And I think we all bring a different expertise. And now when you mesh that all together, I think, this season would be great for us to translate that into wins and also being able to respond to losses in difficult times. It's not going to be a perfect season. It's not going to be pretty all the time. I know I've gone on record saying this all last year, but we just have to stay poised, continue to trust one another, and just have fun at, going after something bigger than ourselves. Yeah, we'll all preach championship in here, but it's only going to be a few people that are going to believe in that. And that's just the real of it. So us, sitting up here and all the guys in the locker room, everybody that's part of our staff and organization that has that unwavering belief, we need to continue to build on those relationships, and everything else is pretty much a distraction. So I'm excited to get started with our veteran group and a few of the young guys we have on this championship run.
Welcome back, Derrick. Hope you had a good summer. 2 questions for you. First, what was the song of the summer for Mr. Lively to play? And then if you're going to be open this season, how many threes are we seeing?
Song of the summer. We'll do all 10 featuring Lil Baby. And then, whatever shots come to me, I'm going to take. It's not going to be out there searching for threes because I have many teammates on my team that I would rather shoot the ball more than me. I'm going to just try to set them up in places where they can get open threes. But, of course, I'm going to take the threes that come to me in my open spots so I can just feel the way the game's going. Some games it might be 1 or 2, some games it might be more. You just got to be able to see how the game's going. It's not a green light. It's more of just feel what's going on in the game. The time, the score, the way the game's going. It's not going out there chucking every shot that comes to me because that's just not my style of game. I feel like I've gone through a lot of mental turmoil throughout this summer. You know, just going through grief, figuring out who I am. You know, my mother was the main reason why I was playing basketball for many years. So now it's just finding a new reason and just to keep going and keep putting one foot in front of the other. You know, there's been a lot of sad days and a lot of bright days, so I've just been able to grow a lot as a person and as a character.
Hello again. Good morning.
Good morning.
We obviously know that Valencia King Real Talk Sports. We obviously know that you are very familiar with Legos. Do you have one that was your most proud one that you made this summer?
This summer, just recently, last week, I finished the Millennium Falcon. It was like 9,980 pieces, I believe. But there's still the Titanic and the Eiffel Tower I got to finish over time, but that's going to take me a little while.
And what do you say to those that want to have you as a Lego biddable?
Let's make it happen. I'd love for that. You know, I'd love to be able to just build myself, but, you know, I'm not sure if it's going to be life size because that'd be a whole lot of Legos.
Tiny bit,
just
right?
a little bit smaller.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Of course.
All right, Derrick. So last year you get drafted here. You worked with Tyson Chandler. You know, you were trying to make your way, right? And then Gafford comes along. The competition's there. You get to the finals. Coming to your second season, it may seem like championship or bust. Now, can you talk about that? How quickly that's went for you, going from a team that was somewhat drafted in the lottery to now competing for a championship?
It's just learning and growing together. You know, we got a couple of new people on the team, and we have a good amount of the team that was here last year. So it's now just being able to just lock into what we were doing last season and just clean up the little mistakes. You know, there was a lot of times where we looked at each other and we were a new team at the second half, 2/3 of the year ended, and we got a new team. We got a couple new players, and now we have even more players. So it's just being able to make them comfortable, making sure everybody can play and not have to worry about things. So that's kind of my job. I'm the glue to make everything go together.
What's up, D-Live? What are the next steps for you in terms of your development on the defensive end?
You could say that again. I didn't hear you.
The next steps for you in terms of developing on the defensive end.
Oh, okay. Really just trying to be able to cover anybody's mistakes. You know, I'm in the paint, so I'm guiding everybody. No matter if that's me switching out to switching out to the three-point line and guarding a guard, I want to be able to hear the people who are low man, the help side, to be able to talk to me like I was in their position. Making everybody just as vocal as possible, making sure everybody's moving on a tandem. And no matter if it's me in the paint blocking shots, no matter if that's me altering shots in the three-point line or Xing out on closeouts, it's just trying to be overall as defensively sound as we possibly can be.
Part of your game did you work on this summer?
I really focus a lot more on owning the paint. You know, being as strong as I possibly can, doing whatever I can just to learn what I'm good at, no matter if that's playing off of 2 feet, 1 foot, working on my left hand, working on my ball handling and my balance. It's just been a lot of focusing on the details this summer, making sure that I can correct a lot of mistakes that I was doing last year.
I'm just curious, you had some tremendous success in your rookie year. I mean, not everybody gets to go to the finals their first season in the league. How do you weigh the hope and the desire and the promise of trying to, hey, let's make that happen every year, as opposed to understanding that if it was easy, everybody would do it, and may not be that easy or that rewarding every single year in terms of getting to the promised land?
You got to stack them days. You got to rely on the times that you're in the gym, rely on your work, rely on whenever the times get tough. The amount of times you've been in the gym, the amount of hours you put in the gym, that's what you rely on. And that's what we're all going to rely on. Each and every person here knows that they're going to give it 100% because the next person is expected to give it 100%. No matter if it's the person in front of you or behind you, everyone's going to back you up, and we're all pushing to the same goal. You know, there might be some times where it gets a little rough, a little bumpy at points in times, but that's life. We got to be able to keep moving forward, and we got to be able to get to the goal that we need, and that is the championship.
Hey, Derrick, you guys were able to spend a lot of time right here.
Gotcha.
Over the summer together in LA, saw you, Gafford and PJ, Arkansas. Just what did those moments do for you personally, and how can that kind of expedite the chemistry process going forward? Personally,
for me, you know, like I said at the end of last season, you know, my team is my family. You know, I really, I've embraced that a lot. You know, I've been talking to a lot of my teammates throughout the summer, no matter if that's just catching up or just talking about what's coming up this season. making sure everybody's good and just trying to be as close-knit unit as possible. You know, we're in different states, no matter if that's LA, we're training in Arkansas, no matter if that's training in LA, training in Vegas, or training in Dallas, we're family. You know, I feel like there's a little bit more to say we're a family than we're a team, because even when we step off the court, we got each other's backs.
Derrick, we've seen you back here on the.
Gotcha.
We've seen you throughout the summer, whether it was summer league, working out at Duke with current Duke players, the Nike camp with Theo Pinson. You have been willing to give back and willing to teach. Where does that come from, and how do you incorporate that with this team, even as a second-year player, knowing what kind of role you're going to have this team? Where does that particularly come from, and why do you want to continue to do that?
Just trying to be a sponge, you know, no matter if that's me giving out information that I've learned or picking up new information. And when it comes to this team, you know, we have players who have been in the league longer than me. We have some players who have never been a part of this team. So it's just kind of just taking them under our arms, you know, just showing them the way, show them how things work around here, and just making sure that everybody is as comfortable as possible. Because everyone's going to say that they're good, but you always got to make sure that they truly are good. You know, that no matter if that's if they miss a shot, they miss a couple of shots, or if it's just, or even if they're just having a bad day. It's just always making sure that, you know, even if you fall, we're going to pick you back up. And that's kind of been our main theme throughout this whole year, well, summer.
All right, last one for D-Live.
Derrick, right over here. How much do you know about Naji Marshall, and how do you feel like he can impact this team? And I'm going to assume that since you're so young that you grew up watching Klay Thompson win titles with the Warriors. Just talk about the impact you anticipate him having on this team.
Just bringing what they've learned from other teams here. You know, Naji, he's an amazing defender, amazing playmaker, and the way he views the game is I love to play with it. I love how I love how he tries to snake the screens. I love how he tries to hostage. So it's just trying to figure out how they play the game and just trying to use that and exploit it. And the same thing with Klay, you know, just trying to be able to get him the ball in spots where he's most comfortable. You know, everybody's going to know he's shooting the ball. It's now just giving him that half a second or to a second count where he can get his feet set and where he can get the ball up. And that's my job as a screener. That's my job as a big man to pass the ball or even get him open. And, man, off them offensive rebounds, I know he's going to be spotting up.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Have a good one. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
PJ, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. I just want to get your thoughts on Quentin Grimes. How do you think he's going to impact this team, not only on the offensive end, but the defensive end?
I think he's going to be really good. I've been knowing Quentin for a long time. He can shoot the ball at a really high level. He can defend at a really high level. He has size, quickness, and he's a great basketball player. So I'm excited to have him here and excited to get a chance to play with him as well.
Hey, PJ, back here. Hope you had a good summer. I wanted to ask, what was your initial reaction when you learned that you guys were getting Klay Thompson?
I was super excited. Obviously, he's a great player. He can space the floor with the best of them. Great defender and a champion. So it's always great to have a guy like that on your team and pick his brain a little bit and just try to get better and learn from him.
Right up in the front. Thank you for your time, PJ. Good morning. I hope your summer was well. You know, Real Talk Sports, Valencia King, we do things a little bit differently. So my first question is, when you went to your barber, did you tell them how special today was to get the lineup crisp? Because it's crisp.
I didn't tell him how special the day was, but he kind of knew. So he knew to get me right and crispy and good for the photos. So and good for y'all's cameras too.
Beautiful, beautiful. Tell them that they did a great job. And then secondly, what was the most enjoyable part of your summer, non-basketball related?
Being able to spend time with my family. Got a good chance to see all my kids together and spend some time with them on the road. So and take us a couple trips as well. I got some good barbecue, so had a good time.
DJ, welcome back. Right here, back left. You were a lot more involved in the offense last year, especially when it came to the playoffs. Has Coach Kidd talked to you about being more involved this year in the game planning and not just within the flow of the offense, having things schemed up for you?
Yeah, just wanted me to be able to be comfortable with bringing the ball up, setting plays up, and being able to post up as well. So just being able to score at 3 levels and also make plays.
PJ, Mike Curtis, Dallas Morning News. Now that you're going to have a full training camp with this team, Jason Kidd literally just talked about encouraging competition. How does that help a team at this time of the year and then going forward?
I think it's great. It's great to see how we can respond to it. Great to see how we play together on the floor, and obviously just get out there and compete. And I think everybody's hungry to get where we were last year, and everybody has a chip on their shoulder. So everybody's just excited.
All right, PJ. So last year you were in Charlotte. Obviously, team maybe didn't have aspirations of making the playoffs. You come to the Mavericks. They were competing for a spot. They get to the finals. Now it's maybe championship or bust. Can you talk about that? How quickly that has went for you and your adjustment for that?
Yes, it was like a whole 180. So just being here obviously is this blessing, and I'm truly excited. So be able to just obviously go out there and contend for a championship and obviously work for it from day one, it's going to be great. I'm excited, and I've been waiting all summer to get back. So like I said, we have a chip on our shoulder, and we can't wait to get out there and get started.
PJ Bear. Last year, you had your viral moment standing on business, obviously, during the Clippers series. From that moment on, and obviously through the rest of the playoffs and this offseason, how have you kind of channeled that particular moment in terms of a mentality or a mindset that you want to take into this season, what that means for your game and what that means for this team?
Just that we're not going to take anything from anybody. Just trying to come out each and every night and establish who we are, and just play a brand of basketball that we want to play, and not let anybody push us around or do anything out of the ordinary. So just coming in every night and just handling our business.
Hi, PJ. What was your, right here? Sorry.
Okay.
What was your biggest takeaway personally from your first playoff experience, and how did that guide you through the off season in terms of what you wanted to work on and prepare for this year?
I think the biggest difference for me from the regular season to playoffs was the attention to detail and the mentality going into it. Every game matters, and so for me, it's I've been just trying to look at as much film as possible and learn as from throughout the whole playoffs, and just trying to get better mentally and just be in the right space.
PJ, if you had to use one word to describe the identity of this team that you've seen so far, even though it's just kind of getting into it, what would it be? And what do you notice has been different so far this year compared to what you experienced last year?
The word I would use is versatile, and I think my experience this year with this team, we just have a lot of guys that are hungry, obviously, a lot of guys that want to be champions and that work like champions. So I think for us, it's like I said, the sky's the limit, and we're just taking it one day at a time.
I know you had a camp here recently. I wondered how much time you actually spent in the Dallas area in the off season, and what was it like being out in public? Did you have any stand on your business interaction? Yeah,
a couple. It seems like every day there's somebody recognizing me. They always ask me to stand on business with them in a picture. So it's been all fun and games, and I'm truly excited and happy that I get to interact with my fans like that. And I've been here pretty much a lot of the summer, so the camp was really fun. I had a bunch of great little kids come and visit me, and it really helped my day. And I don't know, I can't wait to do it again. So I enjoy doing things like that, and it's really great giving back to the city.
We got time for one more for PJ.
You had kind of a local advantage on the transition after the trade in terms of coming here, but I wondered how you felt like this franchise was in helping guys get adjusted, Coach Kidd and his staff, and how can that translate as you all try to get Klay kind of in the fold here?
I think they did a great job with me, making me feel like it's a family, making me feel like it's home, and I'm sure they've done the same with Klay. I think he's excited to be here. I think he's already found a place and already settled in. So I'm just happy he's here, and I can't wait to see how he does and how he meshes with everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, PJ.
Thank you, guys.
How
are you doing? Oh, sorry.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Talk about the road back to the Mavericks.
I mean, obviously, y'all traded me, so you feel me? Back to a team that I was on previously. And then, I was there. We went to the playoffs, had a little bit of success in that season. which was, fun. We were going to start a new season and had a lot of optimism. Got some friends over there. Nick Claxton was my rookie. Doe, obviously, we had formed a pretty big bond. Dennis Smith Jr., amongst others, just kind of, people you guys are familiar with. The season didn't go the way we kind of wanted it to go. We weren't, having much success in terms of wins and losses. They decided to make a certain move, and, I kind of had a choice between kind of like sitting with the Raptors for the rest of the year or trying to join a contender, understanding even though that would burn up my bird rights and make free agency harder. But, when you're in the position or, you've been in the league that long, you want to play meaningful basketball. So shout out to the Raptors for being, first class and whatnot. And then I had a decision between the Lakers and the Mavs. I mean, a couple others, but mainly those two. And anytime, I've kind of been knocked down, I try to take, the harder path and not necessarily make it harder on myself, but just in terms of like that growth, right? And so when I made, obviously, which everybody's going to ask about the comments, it was all about comfort zones. It was funny because both LA and Dallas fan bases kind of thought it was like about them, but it really wasn't. It was like man versus bully. You know what I'm saying? So given what happened with Brooklyn and being top 5 in multiple categories, points and threes and assists, and to kind of have that exit play out like that, obviously, sucked, hurt, all those other things. So the perspective was man versus bully. It really had nothing to do with either fan base, to be honest. So that was it. I was facing some adversity and tried to take a harder path in terms of just growth. And so far in my life, that's pretty much served me well. It's how I got to NBA. It's how I rehabbed an ACL in 5 months, fastest in basketball history, at least. I think there was a soccer player that beat me. Did it in like 3.5 or something, but that's a whole nother thing. That's really all it comes down to. Oh, amazing. I mean, I've probably the most consistent basketball that I've played has been in a Mavs jersey. The farthest I've gone in the playoffs, Western Conference Finals, was in a Mavs jersey. And ironically, 6 months ago, I bought my family home in Dallas. So, and I get to now live in it. So, it's fun and it's great to be back. And obviously these guys are my friends. I'm still familiar with over half the team. I mean, Maxi, Dwight Powell, like just all the cornerstones of the Mavs franchise that are all still here. And, as much as he won't admit this, Sweeney loves me. I don't know if y'all know Sweeney, but Sweeney loves me. That's my dog. So, he's happy I'm back.
Dwayne Price, Mavs.com. Spencer, what was that like for you being away from the team the last 2 years? And much has changed in the backcourt. Kyrie is here, and now Klay is here. So how do you fit in?
So, I played with Kyrie in Brooklyn, familiar with him, obviously familiar with Luka for a couple years. Klay I've never played with, but, early on, obviously, in practices, runs, whatever, like, you can see how seamless of a fit Klay's going to be. Like, he's a top, 2-3 shooter of all time, which is, sensational, right? Like, anytime you're top 2 or 3 at anything in the world, like, you're amazing. On the better teams I've been on, it's all about just kind of plugging in the gaps. If there needs to be a little bit of pace, if, Luka's tired or something, maybe I do that. If it needs to be spot up shooting because Kyrie's cooking, and I do that. If Klay's cooking, I need to be passing him the ball, and you do that. And, if all three are rolling and you got to play defense, we even saw that with the Lakers, like, in the last, 15, 20 games of the season, they relied on me as like the end of game stopper, and so just doing whatever it takes to win.
Hey, Spencer, Landon Thomas, Mavs Fans for Life. First of all, welcome back.
Thank you.
Just going off of your response, that's one of the biggest things about your game is the adaptability and the versatility as well, being able to play a role on which team, wants from you.
Yeah.
Where's that come from? A lot of players just have roles, but you can
have
fluidity.
Probably the fact that, one, like, I'm always trying to win the game, so every decision I'm making is with that in mind. Like, I'm not coming in with preconceived notions or anything like that. But then, two, Probably because my basketball road has been very up and down. Like, I wasn't the #1 recruit in high school, you know, and so every point in time, like, you kind of have to figure out how to play with a different team, a different big-time player. It could be that the big man is the big-time guy, so now you're feeding him. It could be that there's another guard you're playing off of. And then sometimes you are the guy, too. So, like, I've had to wear – I've literally, in the NBA, been 15th on the bench, like, knew I wasn't playing. Like, I might as well have just worn street clothes, even though I had a jersey on, all the way up to really probably about, like, second. You know what I'm saying? And then – even moonlighted as a 1 when, like, the top guy would be hurt or something like that, you know, and average 20, 30, game winners, this, that, and the third, done all of it, you know what I mean? So it's just figuring out where you fit, how you help the specific team you're on, and going from there.
Looking in, you know, when you see this team in the finals, well, just what was your assessment of the team and now that you're coming into a new season?
Well, obviously this team is different, especially adding Klay. And losing D. Jones, who I think, you know, brought a ton of athleticism and defense, obviously, to the team. But overall, I mean, I in the finals, like I kind of said, the Celtics, they were able to put 5 guys out there that could all kind of shoot, and it kind of bent the defense a little bit, and they knocked down shots, and they were, you know, able to win a championship. So hats off to them. Obviously, you know, the ball club that's, you know, in this room all wants to win. Understands where they fell short last year. We're all bought into that idea of doing it. We understand we need health, good fortune, you know, all that other stuff to go our way, but that's the North Star and that's the goal.
Right here in the front, Valencia King. Come on. Do we want to air guitar battle? Because I will win.
No, I don't want that.
Okay, I can do it.
They make theirs and whatnot, and, you know, I'm never gonna shy away from that. So there we go.
Very glad to have you back. Welcome back. Serious question, real serious.
Yeah.
You put a poll on your Instagram, if memory serves me correct, about hair, no hair.
Yeah.
What was the deciding factor for the decision?
Oh, my mom.
Yeah. What'd she say?
She just like it when I cut my hair. She thinks I look like cleaner and younger and all that. And I'm not homeless, so I was like, all right. Basically.
Shout out to moms for keeping it real.
Yeah.
Shout out to mine. Okay.
There you go.
And outside of that, for your off season, obviously you're not new to having a good off season, but what was the most enjoyable part for you outside of basketball? I know you said you got the family home here in Dallas, so.
I mean, this didn't happen in the off season, but it happened leading up to my off season. My second son was born, so that was cool. So now I got like a little fat version of my dad, like crying in the house. No, I'm serious. He looks like he's 65, but he's 6 months. I promise you. Y'all laughing. I'm being serious. Yeah.
Has it been being a dad of 2? Is that an adjustment for you?
I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I have a nanny, so like, there's help. But I love being a dad. I don't like diapers, but all the fun stuff, like, it's great. Like when they smile, like there's nothing that matches that. There's no, you know, high or warmth or anything. It just changes your day. So, you know, I love that for sure.
Listen, my show is Real Talk Sports, so we definitely appreciate the real talk.
The real talk,
Okay.
There it is.
All right, last one for Spence.
And this is a 2-part question, Spence.
What's up?
ChrisWithCNO.com.
Yeah.
When you got the news before you made, obviously, your decision, Klay Thompson was coming to the Mavericks.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts about that? Did that help make your decision to come back?
I mean, yeah. Like I said, you want to play meaningful basketball. I think, you know, primarily, again, like, you know, you have some other options, but primarily, again, it was like Lakers, Mavs. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I made a different decision this time. I mean, you know.
And last question. So this is a unique situation. I've asked the 2 other guys that have signature shoes. There's 4 guys on this team.
I know.
How is that?
We
Because
nice.
you got Luka, Jordan Brand, the 2 Onta guys, and you got 361. I want you to talk about that because it's Aaron Gordon, yourself, and Jokic, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that, Brand, and just how is it to have 4 guys on the team with signature shoes?
I mean, it seems kind of unprecedented, to be honest. I don't know of another time that happened. You want me to talk about 361 or just like, oh, yeah, nah. I mean, they're a Chinese brand. They're really big in China. You know, one thing that I've noticed is that they gravitate towards stories of hard work and perseverance. And I think, that's one of the reasons why we align so well. Obviously coming off ACL and like I kind of mentioned the recovery and all that stuff. And, just, hooping. I mean, shit, I was averaging like 21 at the time. So, and then it was a good marriage. I had my own shoe prior to that, and then we kind of collaborated. Now they do all the stuff, and they've been a dream partner to work with. I love my signature shoe. The third one's coming out this year with 361. I'm actually wearing Elijah's colorway. It's always like a green one, which y'all have seen before, obviously, on the Mavs court. So, yeah, we got like, another like 10, 12 colorways coming, and yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Quentin, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, doing great.
PriceMavs.com. This is your third team in 7 months and all that. How are you making the adjustment to a new team?
Oh, it was great. I feel like it's been nothing but love since I got here from everybody, from top to bottom in the organization. I've known most of the guys already for either before the NBA, but most of the guys now in the NBA. But like I said, it's been nothing but love. Like, it's really a family around here since the day I got here, so I got nothing but smiles every time I step in the facility, really.
What are some of the things that you do well, and how can you impact this team, not only in the offensive end of the court, but the defensive end of the court?
Yeah, I feel like everybody kind of knows me as a 3-and-D guy for sure, but I feel like here with the unselfishness and just the amount of freedom everybody has, I'll be able to show more, just like how I did in New York. Whenever somebody was down or injured, I was always able to step up and kind of show more of my offensive game. And then defensively, just taking a matchup every night, every time I'm on the court, trying to stop whoever's out there. If it's the best player, tallest guy, the shortest guy, it don't matter. I'm going to take on that matchup every time I step on the court.
Quentin, and then you briefly touched on it with how you did when there were injuries with the Knicks. What about the Mavericks offensively? How can they utilize you in ways that you weren't able to do with New York or Detroit briefly?
Yeah, I feel like just watching Dallas in the playoffs, you could just tell like shooting was kind of one of the emphasis. They were kind of big on this offseason, adding Klay, one of the best shooters of all time, and just with Kai, Luka, like the spacing is going to be just open for me to make plays off the dribble even now because we just have so much space and just driving it, kicking it, reading the defense, throwing lobs to the bigs like Gaff and D-Live. So just really be able to show just my whole arsenal, my whole game being here really.
Lindsay came with Real Talk Sports, got a chance to talk to you during the summer at the camp for the Mavs, so appreciate your time. A fun non-basketball related question for you. Did you have a song of the summer? What was your energy this offseason?
Song of the summer? I wish I had my phone on me.
You got to know what's on the top of that playlist.
Yeah, like what I was listening to recently.
Or artists.
Right. It's a new artist called Avenue. He's from I think he's from Toronto.
Okay.
And he kind of like more of an R&B, like Brent Fires vibe. So I've been on him heavy. So you gotta check him out.
Okay.
You gotta check him out.
Okay, bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then lastly, we know it's more of a veteran team. So who would you trust on the aux this season with the music of your teammates?
On the aux, I gotta go with my boy PJ. AJ putting his hand up. I ain't heard him on the aux just yet, but I know PJ got some good songs. I've known him for a while. Texas kids just like me, so I'm gonna go with PJ.
All right, I'm gonna tell you, trust AJ to play some of the Gunna.
I got you.
Appreciate it.
All right, Quentin, Chris Henderson, chendo.com. So this is a two-part question. For the fans that don't know this, you have a brother that plays professional hockey.
Yeah.
And just how's the household with that? Because you're a basketball player, he's a hockey player. How is that? Because I've seen you root for him. I've seen you in the Canucks sweat all the time. And my second question is, for the fans, just for you growing up, who was some of your favorite basketball players?
Yeah, first of all, my mom runs the house. She gives my dad a hard time talking about she's the most athletic. She gets all the kids the genes in the family, so she's the one that talks the most trash about it. But having an older brother like that kind of got me started early about taking the game a lot serious because he's been in the league. I think he's going to his 15th year in NHL, so he's been in the league a while. So I kind of started changing my diet and taking tips from him around my 10th, 11th grade year in high school. So having a guy like that just in a family, in a whole different sport, but it's still the same aspect as a professional athlete, taking tips nutrition-wise, taking care of your body, stuff like that. It was kind of big for me to have somebody like that I can use as a resource and just call and just trying to just take little tidbits and add to my routine and stuff like that. So that was always a big benefit of having a guy like that in the family. And then favorite players growing up definitely was Kobe. T-Mac when he was in Houston around that time for sure, because T-Mac is still heavily influenced in Houston to this day. T-Mac, D Rose. I mean, just had retired. I had one of my first jerseys was D Rose jersey, so he retiring the other day was kind of like a kind of surreal feeling. Then being able to play with him was even more surreal. So probably those are my three for sure.
Quentin, you're able to spend time with your teammates throughout the offseason,
Yeah.
Specifically in LA. What were your impressions of this team's strengths based on those interactions and those kind of scrimmages?
Yeah, I think just the biggest thing is like just the camaraderie we have from just being with each other for 5 days. I feel like we've been with this team for 2-3 years. Just the way everybody's interacting with each other. We had a whole yacht day. Klay set up the whole yacht day. Was on the boat from like 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Like it was crazy. So I like just knowing, talking to a few of the guys, like that's pretty rare for a team to have something like that early or just in the offseason in general. And then we've been hooping every day. Like it's just crazy, just knowing the camaraderie we already have as a team. I think it's pretty special, and I think that translates to the court where even if you have like a bad little stretch, you know what I mean, you still come together as a team because you kind of know more about that person versus just him being your teammate. So I feel like that's gonna take us a long way, just because it's 82-game season. It's gonna be times where like you may win 2 in a row, drop 3 in a row, something like that. But you know, y'all been through way more than that. So I think it's easier when you know you can go into war with somebody that you really know and genuine about it.
And you played against a lot of these guys before in the past. Now that you're teammates, has anything surprised you or caught you off guard about them?
I mean, nah, not really. Like, what you see, what you get. You know what I mean? Luka, Kai, like Klay, don't miss a shot for real. So it's like I'm taking tips of everybody's game, watching Klay, how he prepares, the shot preparation, Kai, his handles, how he prepares for the game, just our workouts in general. It's just like it's gonna be really fun for me to study these guys every single day in practice.
Hi, Quentin. Dana Larson with Mavs TV. I wondered about the coaches that you've played for in your past in college and in the NBA, how that's prepared you for the emphasis that Jason Kidd will have on the defensive end here.
Yeah, I play for nothing but hard-nosed, tough defensive-minded coaches. So I feel like just playing for Coach Sampson, playing for Tibbs, like people who really emphasize defense at the forefront. I feel like that's my motto, just coming in, trying to just stop the other team. And then with J Kidd, just being able to, whatever he needs from me, guarding for whoever. It can go from Trae Young, Jason Tatum, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to take on that challenge every time I step on the court. I would just really be a dog, honestly. Just coming in and trying to stop anybody, whoever. If they make a tough shot, it's gonna be a tough shot. Like I said, like it's gonna be something that you worked for. And if you make it, tip your hat to them. Try to make it super hard every time you step on the court.
Along those lines, how much did you watch or were you aware of what Derrick brought to this team last year, defensively, the grit and all of that stuff? And how much do you feel like, hey, that's something I can step into?
Yeah, he had a phenomenal year for Dallas last year. You could just tell, he looked really comfortable during the whole season, the playoffs. He was great for him the whole time. So I mean, just watching a guy like that, you don't want that to be a drop off wherever you go. So you come in. I mean, you don't have to change much. That's who I am, coming in as the type of player, gritty, come in, make the toughness, not going for none type of thing like PJ did and stood on business last year. So just come in, just play my game, really.
All right, last one for Quentin.
Hey, Quentin. Landon Thomas, Mavs Fans for Life. Welcome to Dallas. Just looking back, what was the initial reaction to the trade going to Dallas, coming off the finals appearance, and then also, you know, you just said it earlier, Texas kid.
Yeah.
How does it feel to play in the NBA in Texas instead of being the road team? You're now the home team.
Yeah, well, when I first got the call, I mean, I was super excited just knowing Dallas cause I knew they had been trying to get me for a while now, like past couple of years. So just being able to come to a team that just came off a finals run and probably was just right there knocking on the door of winning the championship, I was just super excited to just come to the team and bring what I know I can do every single night to the team and hopefully get that ring this upcoming season. And then, just like I said, being a Texas kid, like you're not too far from home, but you're not in home, which is, I think, is pretty good. So my mom got to drive just like 3-4 hours to come holler at me. So I think that's pretty good. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of family at the game, which is good to see familiar faces. They ain't gotta take a 3-hour flight to New York. It's cold up there. I'm used to Texas weather, being in Houston during most of the off season. So it's gonna be pretty fun just having a lot of familiar faces at the game and stuff. Yeah, I don't want to be in the city, but y'all still gotta make your way to come see me. So that's perfect enough for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Quentin.
How's everybody doing, by the way? I'm doing good.
All right, DwaynePriceMath.com. Daniel, how was your offseason, first of all, and what are you anticipating between the combination you and Lively this coming season?
Off season was good. Put on a decent amount of weight when it came to muscle and whatnot. Just pretty much the usual stuff and the player can do when it comes to the off season, just working. And when it comes to the anticipation of me and D Live, I just feel like we finna be two, good old cowboys out here. Doing our thing, just having fun, catching lobs.
What did you learn from Kyrie Irving, after the trade in February? What did you learn from him as far as what kind of guy he is and what kind of player he is?
Honestly, I just learned more of just like the type of down-to-earth person that he is, just kind of like the things that he's been through and how he's learned from them, and just kind of took it one step at a time on just bringing himself to the position that he's in. He's got a lot of composure when it comes to everyday life, I feel, and I've learned a lot of patience from a guy like him because, I pick his brain from time to time, and every time it's always some great advice.
Daniel, Chris Henderson, chendo.com. So first question, when you got the news or maybe the text that Klay Thompson was coming to the Dallas Mavericks, what was your initial reaction?
Oh, man, I was excited, Yeah, because we got one of the Splash Brothers in. I was already here, and he's just coming. Just lock in with us. But in all seriousness, I was very excited. Great addition to the team. I feel like he's going to bring a lot of just craziness out there on the floor for us. It's going to be something that everybody's going to be looking forward to. No matter what stuff happened in the past, we here now. So,
all right, the next question. So a lot of fans don't know this, but you're a gamer.
Yeah.
You're a competitive gamer.
Yeah.
To say the least. All right. Who's more competitive, the basketball player or the gamer?
The gamer, the 100%. I take pride in what I do on video games. Whenever I lose and people talk trash to me, I get a little bit rowdy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little rowdy cowboy when it comes to video games in general. I try not to show my true self whenever I get aggravated with a game, but sometimes it just gets to a point to where it's like a lot.
Hey, Daniel. We talk about position battles all the time in training camp, and J. Kidd just came in here and said that he's going to encourage the competition, especially between you and Lively for that starting center spot. Just do you talk about that like amongst yourselves as competitors, just like the training camp battle position and like where you see each other?
Nah. We just come in every day and just make each other better. That's the message I would say we both try to portray. I get that somebody gonna have to start at the end of the day, but I don't think we're gonna make a big deal out of it.
All right, just a couple more.
Hey, Gaff over here. There's been a lot of talk about the culture and how Dallas has been. How would you describe it to maybe the outside people of kind of what this Dallas Mavericks organization has been like to you and to the newcomers on this team?
10 out of 10 would recommend. Ever since I've gotten here, I've been welcomed with open arms, nothing but smiles every time I come into the building. It's just one big happy family, if I'm being honest. Just from the first day I've gotten here, I just felt, comfortable. I felt, just like I've already been here. Like I said, when I first got here, when I got traded, it felt like I was already on the team, So really just, like I said, I take it one day at a time, and I came in, and the staff pretty much just helped me do that.
Right here in the front, Valencia came with Real Talk Sports. Appreciate your time. And yes, the chair's not the best. But when you think about as the season is approaching, is there a title to this chapter as you approach the season? What would you call this message or this area that you're in right now?
Patience. Just throughout my whole career, I felt like I've always tried to rush a lot of stuff. When I got traded to Dallas, I think patience was kind of the main thing that I focused on. I didn't want to rush it. I didn't want to get to the point to where it's like I was trying to overdo anything. I just wanted to come in and just, of course, make a good first impression, but I also wanted to come in and just be able to just be composed and just be comfortable in my own skin around a new team, Like, it's my third team, so it's just taking it one day at a time, just taking slow baby steps, and I'm here.
Last one for Daniel.
Rafael Barlow with NBA Big Board. I wanted to ask you, have you been practicing your Slovenian?
Have I been practicing? No, I have not. No. That's a funny question. No, I have not. But in the near future, I told one of the other media outposts, I told them, I'm thinking on it. We're just going to keep it at that.
Cool. Thank you, Gaff. Appreciate it.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Defensive game, do you think the Mavericks are going to bring out to make you the best player that you can possibly be? And how do you see yourself fitting in lineups next to Luka and Kyrie?
I just think playing with these guys is going to be a lot more space and opportunity on the floor that necessarily wasn't there for me in New Orleans, and just be able to showcase, my playmaking ability. I shot it pretty good from the three last year. Hopefully, I shoot it better this year, even better. So I think just really being able to show my complete game and just showing that I can really shoot the ball.
Naji, Tim Cato, DLLS. You have a sneaky collection of highlight passes throughout your career. I'm just wondering where that developed, what areas of the floor do you think you're best at using that skill, and how you think it kind of translates to Dallas?
As far as I can remember, that's been the best thing I could do as far as the basketball court since I started playing. And just started getting credited now, but anywhere on the floor in transition, half court, I like to get guys involved. And fun fact, I used to give people a lot of credit when I was playing against them, think they were good or better than what they're supposed to be, or if they was on my team, he should have the ball. So I will always drive and kick, and I guess it played in my favor, to be honest, in a good way.
Hey, Naji, Mark Followell from the Mavs TV broadcast. Great to have you here. I love to ask the guys who started in the league on two-way contracts about their path. You've gone from that two-way contract when you first were with the Pelicans to obviously being a sought-after free agent, a rotation guy. Obviously, the journey isn't finished. But to go from where you were to where you are now, I mean, when you reflect on that, what do you think kind of the key was? Was it motivation from somebody in New Orleans, your own work ethic? What's your aspect and your perspective on traveling from where you were to where you are now?
I think it's just my mindset and the work I put in. No matter what, even in college, being undrafted, I just always felt the NBA was the place for me. So I worked towards it, and I never let nobody change how I believe in myself. And as you can see, I was right.
Back over here in the front, doing my journalistic IG research, you have a post that says the blessing in being blessed is to be able to bless others.
Right.
What does that mean to you, and as far as you've come along in your career, to have been able to do that for your family and your community?
It had so many meanings to it. Just being in the NBA and going to, my neighborhood in Pleasantville, where you probably have never even heard of, and kids being able to see me. I mean, I just feel like that's a blessing. I know how I felt when I seen somebody with any certain status back in the day when I was a kid. It motivated me. As far as just being a helping hand to my family, my friends, whatever they need. It don't even have to be money necessarily, just being there for them. And yeah, that's basically it. Whatever they need, just being there to help out.
Quinn Cook as
Yes.
well. What does the NBA brotherhood or that brotherhood mean for you?
We're both from the same place, PG County. And, all in the same gyms, work out with the same trainers, have the same friends. So just a real genuine connection. And then, QC, he been a two-time NBA champion, college national championship, best point guard in the country in high school. So just being with him every day, meeting the connections I meet through him, just understanding the game on a different level, it's unbelievable.
Was you for your defense, but what would you say is the secret to being a really good defender? Is it more instincts? Is it discipline? Just what goes into it?
I think it's just a mentality, if you want to do it or not. Simple as that, just most things in life. If you really want to do it or not, come down to it. It's my livelihood. If I don't do it, I wouldn't be sitting here right now, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
How much, speaking of that, how much did you take notice last year of what Derrick Jones did? And he always said guarding Luka's in practices was about as hard as it got for him, even on the court. I don't know if this intensity is quite like that, but how much does going against a superstar every day in practice impact maybe or improve your team?
Oh, I definitely think it makes you better. Helps you understand the game a little bit more. Stars usually like to get the ball in certain spots or stuff like this. So It definitely helps me in the game. Guarding Zion and B.I. and CJ wasn't easy in practice, and then in the game it was a little bit easy. So I think just getting constant reps, guarding those guys, and it's honestly a pleasure. It's like a cheat code. You know, I get to guard Luka in the game, and then no disrespect, but guard someone less of his caliber, you know, makes the game much easier. So.
All right, we got one more for Naji.
Hi, Dorothy Gentry with
How you doing?
Messenger Media. This summer, Dirk, at his charity event, talked about the acquisitions that the Mavs made this summer. And he specifically mentioned you
Yes, ma'am.
by name. So how does that make you feel that he thinks that you're a key piece for the Mavs this season?
Man, for my name to even coming out of Dirk Nowinski's mouth is unbelievable. So it's just a blessing, and I'm just so excited to be here. I've already met some of my favorite Hall of Famers in the world, Jason Kidd. And like I said, just unbelievable. And I just look forward to being that missing piece and, you know, accomplishing what we did last year.
All right, Omax, Chris Henderson, CNO.com. So we got to talk about it. Number change 8. Knows you got the Kobe's on. I'm pretty sure. Is there some inspiration in that, or what was the inspiration behind going to number 8?
All right, so for number 8, so number 8 is a family number. I grew up wearing number 8 my whole life. All the sports I played, basketball. And it comes from my mom. My mom wore it in college, and she wore it because for her it meant it symbolized like infinity. So she really liked that. And then I was like, I got the opportunity to get it back this year. I'm like, I got to go back to my number 8. And obviously, big Kobe fan growing up, so you know, it comes from there too. So I'm so glad. I mean, every time I wear number 8, I feel like myself. So it's good. I'm glad to be back in it.
Blake Elliott, 105.3 The Fan. Welcome back, Omax. You obviously had a busy summer. Has Coach Kidd or any of the coaching staff talked to you about what they want your role to be on this team moving forward? Obviously, you kind of had the keys to the team this summer. Do you expect to have a bigger role this upcoming season?
Absolutely. I definitely feel like, you know, I will have a bigger role this season. But for me, first and foremost, I mean, Coach Kidd and everybody's told me, I mean, it's defense. It's on the defensive side of the ball. How can I come in and be a disruptor on that end? And, you know, for me, I've worked a lot on my game all summer, you know, all the areas of my game. But I think for me, if I could do that and, you know, show that, you know, I can really compliment Luka and Kai on the offensive end and those guys and really just be a guy that can run, finish above the rim, and stretch the floor. But most importantly, guard. I mean, watching a guy like D. Jones all year last year and learning from him and see how he carved out a role for himself in this team by guarding, and then everything else opens up after that. But for me, I guard, I do that, I rebound, I do all those little things to help this team win and impact winning. That's what's going to get me on the floor. And, you know, I'm ready to do that for this team this year.
Right here in the front, Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. Thank you for your time. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. If you could title this chapter as you approach this upcoming season, what would you title this? What would this moment mean or title be for you?
Title this chapter like season, like year 2. I would just say, honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is just step up. Just step up. You know, I learned a lot from this past year. You know, grown a lot, have all kinds of experiences from not playing, G League, all that stuff. And now all those experiences and all those, you know, those areas of growth, now for me, it's an opportunity for me to just step up and take that next step and really, you know, move forward as a, you know, key piece on this team. And, you know, I believe I'm ready for that, and I will do that. So, yeah.
And I've been asking a few of your teammates this, so I'll ask you as well. What was the most enjoyable part of your summer outside of basketball?
Yeah. The most enjoyable part of my summer, I would say, was going back. I mean, there's 2 parts. First one was supporting my sister in the Olympics. going out to France and watch her, represent the country. That was big for me. And the second part was being back home and hosting my camp in late August, just having, all those kids from the city and, inspiring them. There was over 100 kids there, so I had a great time. So those are 2 moments for my summer.
What's up, Bo Max?
What up, what up?
So speaking of your camp, you broke a 7'3", 13-year-old. What were your thoughts on him?
Oh man, yeah, I know he's everywhere now. It was. I mean, when he first arrived to the camp, I was like, oh shoot, who is that? But I mean, he's very young. I'm glad that now people are able to see him and he's out there now. So now it's all about for him. How will he keep growing? How will he keep work on his game? But the potential is there for sure. And to have, another kid from the city to be out there and to be exposed here, that's what it's all about. Growing up, from Montreal, there was not many outlets to be seen in the U.S. and all those big camps or whatever. Like, you had to play for certain AU teams and whatever. It was very hard. But now I'm trying to break that. I'm trying to have more people see about the talent that's coming from Montreal and from the city. So he's just one example of that, and it's great to see that for him.
We got one more for Max.
Hey, Max, what does 1 year in the NBA do for you in terms of confidence and everything you learned from year number 1 going into year number 2?
Man, it does a lot. It does a whole lot, because going in, you don't know what to expect. People tell you this is how it is, this is what it is, but you don't know it till you experience it firsthand. So having 1 year under your belt and being around the NBA, being around this team for a full year, knowing your teammates for a full year, now going into year 2, you just have a different kind of like self-poise and just like, okay, I know what I need to do. I've worked on it a whole summer, and I know what it takes for me to play at this level. You might think you know going in, but you don't really know till you're in it. And I think everything that happened, like I said, in my first year is only preparing me for what I'm going to go through this season. And whatever comes forward, I'll be willing to do on the floor for this team, whatever it takes. So, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Kevin Gray, Dallas Mavs. Question for you as far as this season. How big is this training camp for you in terms of your growth and your development? We saw some things get better for you. The game slowed down, making some plays out of short rolls, things of that. How big is this training camp for you in terms of how you fight for minutes this year?
It's really big, just trying to come out, into the season. We want to start off having a good season, starting off, winning, right away. And, for me, coming in this year to training camp in better shape. I'm stronger. I feel faster. And, I'm just ready to get after it with these guys. And, our goal this year is get back to the championship and win. So, it's going to take a lot. We can't skip steps. But, for us, just stand together, trusting in each other. And I feel like with me, just continue to grow. I feel like, as you said, as last year went on, as the season went on, I started to get better and better as the season progressed. And in the playoffs, I got a shot, opportunity, and I feel like I took the most of that. I took advantage of that with the minutes I was given, and just being thankful for that opportunity. And I'm just ready to get back after it. So.
Right here in the front, Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. How you doing, Jaden?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Gang. Now, we got to ask the serious questions. So first things first, when you went to the braider, when you went to the barber, did you tell them to get it right really, really well for media day? Because the taper fade is tapering.
I for sure told them I need a crispy cut. No cap. Crispy.
It definitely is crispy. The taper fade, make sure you give them their credit.
Thank you.
And then outside of basketball, what was the most enjoyable part for you? I know you did a camp, but even outside of that, what was the most enjoyable part of your off season?
Yeah, like you said, I did a lot of things this off season. I got time to travel, spend time with my family, and but most importantly, I was just focused on just staying in the gym and getting better, working on my body and preparing for the season to come. Because I know this year is going to be big for me. And, I'm just trying to take every advantage of every opportunity that I'm given. And, I just try to put God first and let him take me through the way. So, yeah, thank you.
Chris Henderson, chendo.com. So this is the first question. Last year in the playoffs, you got some meaningful minutes in some crucial situations. Can you talk about that, and how was that a confidence builder for you that, Coach Kidd and the staff gave you those minutes?
Yeah, that was big for me to not only see it, Coach Kidd put me in and trust me, but also my teammates being able to trust me in those moments too. That really helped me build my confidence a lot. Because I was just eager to be out there with those guys. I feel like I belonged on the floor, and I feel like I could help the team. So just whenever I got that opportunity, it just felt good, and for to see Coach trust me and all the players, push me and root me on when I was out there, that felt good. So yeah.
Like that. And the second question is, obviously, I remember your rookie year, I asked you who were some of your favorite players growing up, but just guys that you mentioned Kobe, obviously, but then you said Kyrie. Ironically, Kyrie becomes your teammate.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what his influence has been with you now on the team, and just being able to be a sponge and just look at one of those guys that's a generational talent and learn from him?
Yeah, for sure. Not like you said, not only just Kai though, but like being around Luka and now Klay, like that's like 3 future Hall of Famers. So, just being able to be around all 3 of them, being able to pick their brains, and just ask them about their experience. When they were younger players, I feel like it's only gonna help me get better, and I feel like I'm next up behind those guys, and just they know that I'm willing to put the work in and listen, and it's just I'm happy to be here, and I'm ready to go for this season. I'm fired up, and I can't wait to get out there and show the fans what I've been working on.
So, Coach Kidd, Eddie Sefko, Mavs.com. So, Coach Kidd was here earlier and said you've been patient. Now it's your turn to get an opportunity, and I'm wondering, what do you feel like you have to do specifically to make the most of that opportunity, especially given that it's kind of a crowded backcourt?
Yeah, pretty much. When I get out there, making the right decisions. The coaching staff, they talk to me about being able to make those right decisions, but not only that, but make open shots, still not being aggressive. But yeah, still being aggressive out there, but making those right decisions, game time decisions. And I feel like over the summer, being able to work on my game and playing a lot of like pickup 5-on-5, to be able to work on my game decision, just game time, decisions went well, so I could get that feel for whenever I step out there, just slowing down and reading the game. And I feel like that's what helped me a lot this summer and when I've been working on my game.
Blake Elliott, right over here, Jaden. Blake Elliott, 105.3 The Fan. As mentioned, you were kind of a microwave scorer off the bench for the Mavs in this past playoff run. It's a pretty guard-heavy roster. Have you and Coach Kidd and any of the staff kind of detailed what your role may be going into this next season, or what do you have planned for yourself coming into this next season, as roster's a little heavy with guards right now?
Yeah, I know we do have a deep roster, but over here you just got to stay ready. It just comes down to being a pro. And whenever your name calls, you got to be ready to step out there and do what you do. And I feel like, with me, that's what I've been doing, since I got here, just working, putting the work in. And whenever I hear my name called, I go out there and perform. I try to bring great energy, root on all of my teammates, have that positive vibe. And, whenever I get out there, I try to do my thing and just, root everybody on. So.
All right, we got time for one more for Jaden.
Jaden, Dana Larson right here with Mavs TV. Can you talk a little bit about the influence that Kyrie has had on you and just what he meant to you last season as you worked your way through, the journey of the year?
Yeah, Kai, he has a big influence on me. Me and Kai chop it up a lot, talk a lot, text each other. And, I know with me and Kai, I used to have conversations with Kai asking him about, his younger days, when he was younger, coming into the league, like how he dealt with certain things. And, what if he could go back, what would be something different he would have done, coming up. And, just to be able to hear his answers and him go into detail about, what it was like for him growing up, the things that he had to go through and, stuff like that, and with the media. So he just, explaining to me how the business is, but not only that, just, also talking to him about the game. He's one of the best ever at, getting to the spot, being able to, get to the spots, raise up, getting his teammates involved. And also, just taking over a game whenever he needs to. And, that's something that I really like about Kai's game. And not only that, but the person and teammate he is too as well. So just being able to, be able to have someone like that in your corner who always gonna root for you and push you to get better is that's all I can ask for. And I feel like I'm only gonna get better with that. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. We had a couple of moments like that in last season. You know, when he'd come over to me like during the game, and I ask him what he see, or he'd tell me what he see out there, and he'd just tell me, you know, just play my game, or just, you know, slow down, you know, read it, and you know, it's gonna make itself available. So stuff like that always helps. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Jaden. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Chris Henderson, chendo.com. Welcome back, Maxi. Just this offseason, obviously didn't win a championship, but then you get the news Klay Thompson's coming to the team. Just what were your initial thoughts and just seeing how this team has shaped since you've been here? You've seen all kind of type of teammates. Now this team's at the point where it's either championship or bust.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, obviously my first 2 years were a little bit rougher. But after that, I think, you know, with Luka coming in, the team kept growing and growing. Last year, obviously, was a great experience, but a very sad ending. You know, we had overall a really good season, but what you took home from that season was the disappointment of losing in the finals. And, you know, with the new additions, with Klay as a new addition, we have new experience. He knows what it takes to win championships, and I think his expertise can help us as a team to move forward and build on what we did last year.
Maxi, over here. You, after last season, watching Derrick Lively have the strong rookie season that he did and his upward trajectory, the way it's going now, how do you view the center position, which you're obviously a part of as well, and the surplus of strong talent you guys have there?
I mean, I don't think it's just the big position, but any position we're really deep. So now it's about, you know, fitting in within the whole system. Everybody got to know their role. We got to understand how to play together. There will be a lot of competition, but you know, competition with other teams, but also like inside, because we have so much talent. Gaff and Lively, DP, me, PJ, you know, we have a lot of tall guys, big guys. But specifically to D-Live, you know, it's been just amazing seeing him grow last year. He came in already playing really, really well, and then he just kept getting better and better. And I think he surprised a lot of people. And, you know, just seeing him this offseason, the workouts and pickup games that we played, he's in really great shape, and he's going to continue where he left off. And, you know, it's a privilege to playing with him and having a guy like Luka and Kyrie who can find him. You know, that combination makes them very dangerous, and it's a lot of fun to play with them.
Maxi, Dana Larson here with Mavs TV. I wanted to ask you about taking training camp on the road again now for a second straight year, just the benefits you think that might be involved there and going this week to Vegas. And second part, Luka obviously has an incredible year last year. His career's on this, you know, amazing trajectory. What does it take for him, do you think, to really be considered and maybe win an MVP?
Well, first of all, you know, a travel as a team always is a good way to bond. I'm happy that the flight is not as long this year. It's a little bit shorter. But, you know, you just have extra time with your teammates. You're going to be on the road. You're going to have dinners. You're going to hang out. It's a different situation to come together as a team. So I think that's really helpful and a plus for us. And to Luka, I think in many people's eyes, he already is an MVP and played like an MVP. And I think he did that. At the end of the day, you know, it's small little factors that play into those kind of decisions. I think the way he played last year and how he carried us to the playoffs and where we got, you could have made a big argument for him to win the MVP. But you know, I'm not making the decisions. I would have voted for him for sure as my teammate. But I think, you know, it's like I said, it's small factors and everybody has a little bit of a different opinion. But the way he played, just going by basketball, I think he would have deserved it.
Maxi, first of all, how's your foot? And secondly, what was your biggest off-season focus?
My foot is good, feeling good. My biggest focus was to, first of all, after the long season, spend time with the family. That's what I did. So just hanging out with them most of the time, and then come back here early and get in shape for the next season.
WaynePriceMath.com. Maxi, Spencer Dinwiddie played a major role on you guys advancing to the conference finals a couple of years ago. What's it like from your perspective and having him back, and what kind of impact you think he'll have this season?
I think he can have a really big impact because besides of the basketball talent that he is, he's a really, really great teammate, good locker room guy, keeps the spirits positive. And, his expertise, obviously, from 2 years ago and when we played together, he knows the system will help us as well. But overall, he also understands like the whole dynamics that are going on, the positions that we have. He knows that we have Luka and Kyrie on the 1 and 2 playing, right? So he's the one who will sacrifice himself for the team and will not let his spirits down ever. So just having guys like him is really helpful in order to do what we want to do.
Right here. Last one for Maxi.
Right here in the front, Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. Thank you for your time today. You've been a part of this team for a while. You've been in the league for a while. So as you approach this new season, is there a bit more ease heading into it? You kind of know where you're doing, knowing what you're doing. It's kind of like a bit of more routine. So would you say there's a little bit more ease?
I would say a little bit more ease when it comes to media day. Overall, I think that's why basketball is so fun. Like little changes can change a whole team dynamic. So we have new additions. We were very successful last year, but it takes a lot of work and focus for us to do the same thing again. And we got to include everybody. So there's always like a new challenge every season, and you can literally say it like that. I don't think it should be ease or easy, neither one of them. I think you just have to continue focusing and take everything serious because of the success last year, teams are looking at us and saying like, hey, we want to beat them today. So, it takes a good mental approach for us to do the same thing again. So I think nothing is in this league ever ease or easy. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Maxi.
Hey, Dante. Joey Mastretta with Clutch Points. I wanted to ask, just how was your offseason and what did you work on the most this offseason?
My off season, was a lot of playing. Obviously after NBA Finals, I was pretty much straight to Australia, and then it was, training camp with the Oz team, and then over to the Olympics, and then a little bit of downtime. But I think the biggest thing that I worked on, and I try to do it every off season, is I'm a bigger guard, so just the back down game and kind of working out of short corner pick and rolls. I think it's something that I can get to a lot too. So hopefully I can implement that this year.
Dante, we know this team is going to come with a lot of expectations, especially coming after a finals run. But what do you think is the thing that this team grasped the most just by making it to the finals and coming up short?
Yeah, I think it's the experience of it all. Not that it took us by surprise. I thought everyone felt that, we deserved it and we should be there. But just getting there and being like, okay, this is it. Like, we're this close. And I think that hunger is going to drive us and everything that we do going forward today. I think every team I've been at, obviously the thing you say at the start of the season before training camp is, we want to be in the finals. We want to, make an impact in the playoffs. And we did truly believe it last year and we were able to do that. But I think coming into this year, we know that we can, and we know that we have the ability, 1 through 15 to do that.
And then Jason Kidd talked a lot about just competition during this training camp. He's going to encourage it, instigate it. What does that mean to you? We know there's a pretty stacked group of guards in that backcourt depth, but just how do you plan to approach the competition aspect of it?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing when I signed here last year, I wanted everything just to be up for grabs, minutes, everything. I didn't want to be handed anything, and I think that goes for a lot of people in the locker room. We want to earn our minutes, earn our spot, and it's just going to be a competitive way to start off the season, and it's going to just propel us into the start of the season that we're going to be ready and prepared.
If I could take you back to the Olympic experience a little bit, just can you kind of explain how competitive that is? Because there were so many teams that seemed like they had chances to medal this year, and and there's only 3 medals to go around.
Yeah, this is obviously one of the most anticipated Olympic Games ever. I would say, I think just with the quality of teams and players at the Olympics alone, not only just in the US, but everywhere else. We didn't medal, Germany didn't medal. There was Canada didn't medal. There was a lot of teams that you'd put them any other year medaling for sure. So I think that just shows the growth of basketball and how it's just going in this great direction, that every country is just investing a lot into, you know, basketball players and their basketball programs. But I think for me, it's, you know, it's exciting going into those international competitions. It's kind of like a little bit of a breath of fresh air just to, you know, play for a month, play to win. You know, you only get to play 5-6 games together to do something great for your country. And it's obviously an honor to do that every time I get the chance to.
And Buford with LandonBuford.com. Lauren Jackson didn't play too much in the Olympics, but obviously coming back from several serious injuries. Just your thoughts about her just being on the bench and just what she's done for Australia basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to her a bit, and she's over there killing the NBL 1 and doing great. And I think what she's done for women's basketball in Australia has just been amazing. She's the icon of it, and I think just to even go to 5 Olympic Games, that's incredible for anybody. And I think she would play, even though she didn't play much on that team, she played an incredible part in getting them that bronze medal. They were struggling a lot through the tournament. They lost their first game to Nigeria, and I think without her leadership and talking to the coaches and their staff that I knew, they needed her on that team. So I think that goes a long way in showing that it's not just about the 5 on the court, but also the support that you have on the bench too.
I wanted to ask you, how is your finger doing? And if you're not a full participant yet in practice, when do you expect to be fully back from that injury?
My finger, it was obviously a crazy thing that happened. But I was playing a week and a half later in the Olympics. I obviously missed that first game, but I played a week and a half later. So I'm in full practice and everything. But obviously, just because my summer's been so crazy and going, I wasn't in a lot of stuff. I'm fully healthy, fully ready to go.
All right, guys, we got 2 left.
Right here in the front, Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. Appreciate your time. I talked to you a little bit during the season about parenthood. This is off season. Now you're juggling that as well. Did that teach you anything about balancing it all?
Yeah, it's been a bit tough. Obviously I was away, doing a lot of the Olympic stuff, but coming back here, and I've had about the last month and a half just to, be at home, just work out, come home and being dad and not have to travel. It's been great. I think just every day seeing her grow and develop as a little human being and just the little things that she does. I think I try and talk to some of the younger players, and it's just something they wouldn't understand. I know I didn't understand it when I was at, because I walk in, I'll be like, oh, like she grabbed something and smiled, like she knew what it was, and they're like, so. But no, it's just amazing to see.
Dante, you had such a strong start to last season, and then it was around January where you just earned the starting berth and you started having the plantar issue. I wondered how much reflecting you did after that. It took you a while to get back to the lineup, and then by then, your opportunities weren't all that plentiful. And I wonder if you ever got back to that pre-January. By the time you came back, were you able to get back to that?
Yeah, no, I think, obviously I was playing really well. And I mean, you can look at it and say that, the stats and everything, I was playing amazing. But, getting back into the lineup and fighting, it was hard. But I think for the minutes that I was given and the opportunities that I was given, I was doing the most and everything that I could have. So yeah, the stats weren't the same, but if you look at it as a basketball mind and someone watching the game, I felt like contributing just as much.
Awesome. Thanks, Dante. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Joey Mastretta, Clutch Points. I wanted to ask, was it pretty much always going to be Mavericks, or were you getting offers from other teams? Were you talking to other teams about potentially playing with them this year?
Yeah, it's always going to be the Mavs. I was trying to get my brother here, but it was always going to be Mavs.
You being a advanced elder statesman on this team, how do you view when you look at after such a strong year last year, Derrick Lively and his trajectory upward? how his game has developed and will continue to develop, and how the whole center position breaks down with, you know, not just him but Gaff and yourself and the Dwight and so forth?
Yeah, with Lively, man, the sky's is the limit, man. He's hungry in his rookie year. I mean, not a lot of people get to get to the mountaintop, basically, you know, and see what it takes to get to the championship, be a part of the championship team. But man, I'm so excited for his future, because he's going to be, you know, the best center in the league. And they say 3 to 5, I say 2 to 3. And then yeah, I mean, we got two. I mean, our center position is crazy. We got two of the best in the league. You know, they're going to push each other every day. I don't think there's going to be a day off between the two of them, because the position is just is neck and neck. Yeah, and me, myself included, I'm just, you know, here when they need me.
Hey, Markieff, Tim Cato with DLLS. What is it, you know, everybody talks about your influence in the locker room. Everybody, you know, Jason Kidd talks about this, players talk about it, people around the team. How would you describe what your role in that locker room actually is, what it looks like, you know, on a day-to-day, weekly basis?
I mean, I'm just here to help the younger guys to learn how to be a professional. That's first and foremost. You know, a lot of stuff go on throughout the year, you know, off the court that, you know, that people don't know about. You know, and not only are we basketball players, some of us are fathers. Most of us, I mean, all of us take care of our entire family. So these problems, other guys really don't have nobody to talk to about. Obviously, I've been around. I'm an elder statesman, so I've been around and seen it all. Yeah, so I'm just here, you know, for whatever, you know, comes on their plate on the court. Yeah, I'm here to push them. I'm here to play too, but obviously I'm here to show them how to play and to get them ready to play. We know we do stay ready, and you know, coming back from injury, you gotta see me. That's my game. So whenever, you know, a guy's trying to get into rhythm or trying to get back from injury, I'm usually there to help them get back.
Dana Larson here with Mavs TV over on this side. Hi. Can you talk a little bit about Kyrie and your relationship with him? And also, last year he came in, he said he was really prioritizing his leadership role on this team and wanted to go about it in a different way. Can you talk about what you've seen and heard from him that has made him such a good teammate?
Yeah, Kyle's he's a great dude, man. He's not all about basketball, you know. So that's the best thing about him. He wants to, you know, help people grow in life also. Me and him have had a ton of conversation, real life conversation. So I consider him as a brother. Being a leader, it's all about getting out of his comfort zone, and I told him that. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, usually I'm the guy that brings it in, gives a speech. I would just tell him, like, today is your day, you take over. And he's been doing a lot of that. He speaks before the games. So the team get to hear his voice and, you know, piggyback off that.
Right here in the front, Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. Thank you for your time today. You mentioned a lot of the guys being fathers and everything of that nature. This wasn't your first off season by far, but what was the most enjoyable part of your off season, non-basketball related?
It's being with my babies. This has been last year was a long season. Honestly, I feel like we never stopped last season. Yeah, just being with my babies, you know, taking trips with them, just full dad mode. See, this smooth you see during season is not the smooth you see out of season. I'm taking my kids to school. We got all these activities. I'm not even the same person. Cut the hair, cut all this off. I'm full-time dad.
And then lastly, quick rematch, rock, paper, scissors.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Just one.
Just
Ready?
one.
Rock, paper, scissors. No, wait, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Yeah, you knew you was going back to scissors.
All right, we got one last one for Keith right here.
Hell yeah.
You mentioned that it was always going to be the Mavs. Can you be more specific about why you want to be part of this organization?
I feel like for one of the first times in my career, I'm accepted for me. They want me to be me, and that's hard to come across in this game. I only got a couple more years left, and this is the best place for me, and I know that, but you got to play the game with the media too. So I also know that also. So yeah, it always was going to be here. We got a 3-year plan. I got 1 more year after this, and yeah, we'll see after that. Yes and no. It's always close until it's time to sign, and then that's when the distance come in.
Awesome. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it.
That was good.
Dwight, you're one of the longer tenured guys here now. Mark's not here. Does it feel any different from a day-to-day process, any of it, with him being gone?
The way I see it, I've been here, like you said, for quite some time, and I think each season we as an organization, as a team, and the guys that are carrying over to next season, we learn a lot, and we try to take those things and evolve each season. So it's kind of a tough question to answer because there's a lot of moving parts. Obviously, seeing Mark on a regular basis, that's a difference. But I think we're evolving in a lot of ways, trying to improve and find ways to win a championship. And that's in so many different facets of what we do and how we behave and how we've been moving on a day-to-day basis. So there's definitely a lot of change, and he's missed. He was great to see him on such a regular basis, but I think he's still there if we need him, and he's still, able to lend a hand in whatever way he wants to see us be successful still. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I think every season is a lot different from the season before.
Dwight, I have a similar question, a little bit differently framed. Of course, you've been on this team a long time. You've seen this team chase big name star free agents and fail in the past. This was a team, a franchise that had its identity really built around Dirk and everything that he represented. And then over the last couple of years, Kyrie Irving arrives, and now Klay Thompson is here. So I guess I'm curious what your first reaction was finding out that Klay Thompson was going to be here, and whether it's just what it feels like to see this franchise, changing in those ways that these types of players are, buying in and ready to join and come to Dallas.
I was excited for sure. I mean, one of the great shooters of our generation for sure, and one of the great shooters this game has ever seen. So you want to, naturally start going down the thought pattern of imagining what it will be like and seeing him in certain situations, especially with Luka's ability to find guys and Kai's ability to just create so much gravity. There'll be a lot of amazing opportunities for him to be extremely successful. So I guess my first reaction was being very excited.
Dwight, another question kind of about the Klay addition. You've been here through Dirk's era and now Luka's era, and you know what it takes for this team to win. What about Klay Thompson's game is going to contribute to hopefully winning with you guys?
He's an extremely good basketball player, first and foremost. And like I said, one of the great shooters this game has seen. But I think more importantly, he knows how to win. He knows how to play the game the right way. And he's able to be effective in a lot of different situations. I think Luka's going to makes it easy for everyone, first and foremost. So his ability to capitalize on those opportunities is going to be extremely exciting, and it's going to create a lethal weapon on the court that's going to just create even more space for guys to operate. But he's been there before, and I think having that experience at the level that he's had, which is rare in terms of, generationally, in terms of winning, it's something that we can all take from on an organizational level. But X's and O's, I think it speaks for itself, but I think there's a lot of intangibles he's going to bring to the organization that's going to really help us be successful.
Dwight, your team thought they could win the championship last season. You had that confidence. And by adding Klay, Naji, Quentin, Spencer's back, what does this team have this year that they didn't have last year?
Every season is different. You know what I mean? And it's a long road to figure out, how things are going to play out. But I think we're extremely confident with the group we have right now, and I think that confidence is going to continue to grow. Like I heard Kai said, we're very fortunate to have the group that we have day one, so we can kind of, get on the same page from the beginning and figure things out sooner than later and find that rhythm, because it does take time. There's going to be ups and downs, and we're going to have to figure this thing out together. But we're very excited with the group we have and looking forward to this season.
Chris Henderson, CNO.com. So obviously long season last season, championship run. You immediately go to the Olympics. You got a chance to compete for your country. Can you talk about that experience and how was that for you?
Yeah, it was an incredible experience. First and foremost, I think it's really an honor to represent your country at any level. But for me, that was a dream of mine to compete in the Olympics. That on that big stage, since I can remember, since I started playing for the national team. So over my tenure with the Canadian national team, there was a lot of missed opportunities, we'll call them, to live out that dream. So to be able to finally get there and in the way we did with the group that we had was extremely special. So yeah, it's definitely a bucket list thing for me in life, as well as sport. And I was very fortunate, very grateful to have had that experience.
Right here in the front, Valencia King with Real Talk Sports. Thank you for your time this morning. Non-basketball question. What was the most enjoyable part of your summer, non-basketball related?
Most enjoyable part of my summer, non-basketball. So we're breaking it down to like 10 days.
Basically, right?
No, I was very fortunate to have some of my close friends able to fly out to Paris to see some of the events and to watch me play, and that was a really cool moment because they were there when that dream started, like at the inception point of that, that future that I had created in my mind. So they saw what went into it. They saw the sacrifices that were made. They made sacrifices for me on my behalf, and they supported me through a lot of ups and downs, and they were there when we didn't make it, and they were there and understood just what it meant for me to reach that goal. So those few days that we had in Paris after we were done, so we can be non-basketball related, were a really cool time of reflection for me, having kind of accomplished a pretty big goal in my life, not just sport, but in terms of reaching a stage that was not promised at all from when I began. And looking back on some of the things that we had done together as a group of friends, we were very grateful. So it was a good few days of reflection.
Now I'm going to dig into my journalistic bag and ask you to reflect a little bit more. If you could go back and talk to 5, 6, 7-year-old Dwight Powell and tell him that he accomplished it, what would you say?
What would I say to him?
To the younger you. To the younger you, because you said this is something that you have been wanting to do. It's a dream that's been fulfilled now. When you think about when you first pick up the basketball, right? It's just a dream, but now it's actually accomplished. What would you say to the younger you?
Honest answer, I'm very fortunate for what I've accomplished. And I think, the power of belief and thought knows no bounds. So I would tell that 5-year-old version of me to dream bigger. I think the dream I had back then seemed impossible. And part of that reflection looking back was not shock, but it was a really interesting feeling of having accomplished something that I didn't think was possible for a long period of time. Now, obviously, once I got older and made university and played in the NBA, the dream became more clear, and the path showed the work. The work showed where the path would lie. But to that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old kid who was just another kid, I would say, hey, you can do whatever you want. So dream as big as you can.
Awesome. We got to let Dwight run.
Hey, AJ, back here. Joey, we
good?
started with clutch points. I wanted to ask, how does playing in summer league this past summer, how do you think that'll help you moving forward into the season?
Just more reps. I feel like just constantly repping our defensive schemes and offensive schemes, just getting that embedded in my brain, just so when the season does come, less mistakes happen because I'm already prepared and I'm already ready.
Hey, AJ.
What's up?
Where do you feel like you've taken the biggest strides over the offseason? What do you emphasize working on the most?
I feel like this offseason I really focused on being in the weight room super hard and locking in on just like my core, my leg strength, so I can just throughout the season not get tired, not get fatigued because I worked on it and worked on my body throughout the whole summer. And I feel like this year, every year I work on my shot, but this year I really focus on the mechanics, holding my follow through, being confident in every shot, and then practicing like it's a game, using every rep to like maximize what I see in the game and work on it. So when the game does come, it's gonna be easier for me.
How difficult is it to kind of simulate that during the off season, especially when it's not like live game reps?
It's difficult, but that's why we have such a great staff. They all help out. They're all locked in. We have guys passing, guys rebounding, guys guarding my shot. So everyone is in the process of just locking in with me and making sure that I get my reps and focus on the things I need to focus on.
Right here in the front, Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. First things first. You ready?
Let's get it. Rock,
All
paper,
right.
scissors.
Ready?
Wait, is it shoot or
On
just,
shoe.
Okay.
On shoe. Ready?
Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors. Let's go.
Hey, Derrick beat me too. Okay, back to the questions. What was the most enjoyable part of your summer, non-basketball related?
The most enjoyable thing I'll say was going to Jamaica. Was on the beach, seen some starfish, seen some sharks, seen some dolphins, seen everything honestly, and it was just a great time just to have a break after the season, just relax and just kick up my feet.
When I get asked PJ the same thing, when you went to the braider, when you went to the barber, did you tell them to have you ready for media day? Did you tell
Extra
them
crispy.
Come on,
Extra crispy.
come on. See, I knew it. Tell
I had
them
to.
They did a great job.
Looking good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's up, AJ? Chris Henderson from CNO.com. So I remember last year I talked to you. You wanted to be a sponge just being around Kyrie and Luka. Now you're bringing along Klay. And the short time that you probably interacted with him, how's it been? And just how exciting for you as a young guy being able to have those two, but now had a guy that's been an All-Star, potential Hall of Famer, and et cetera.
It's super exciting. I feel like everyone's watched, the champions, NBA champions from how long ago back, but just having one of the greatest shooters of all time on your team is always a great thing to see. Just watch him shoot, watch how he shoots, and then just see how focused he is on every shot. Just it makes you really see that details matter, and that's what I wanted to focus on my shot this year, working on the mechanics and focus on the mechanics each time.
Hey, AJ, Lane and Thomas, Mavs fans for life. Jason Kidd talked about the competition with this roster, how deep the roster is. With this being a big training camp for you, how do you find the balance of being aggressive, trying to make that imprint on the coaching staff, but also just playing your game, your strengths and what you know?
I feel like that comes with a little experience. I feel like it's my first year. I'll probably be a little bit more nervous, but right now I'm on year 3, and I feel like I just gotta be myself because they already know who I am, know what I can do. So just be myself, be aggressive, know when to be aggressive, and then just compete and be a competitor that I am. I feel like I'll do fine.
2 quick questions for you, Dorothy Gentry with iMessenger Media. The first question is: you seem to be very jovial and have a fun personality. Kind of, what is the onuses of that? The genesis of that.
Just me. Just wake up every day with a smile. I just try to be that positive, impactful person every day. I feel like I probably get it from my dad. My dad's like a playful, goofy person. I feel like I probably got it from him. Yeah.
Current state of mind as you prepare for this season and going ahead and making an impact?
My current state of mind is just staying ready. Because just like an NBA season, you never know when you're going to get thrown in the fire. So right now I just want to stay ready. I already know I worked on my game. I already know I've been preparing for this for how long now, just staying ready because I know my time going to come.
Awesome. Thanks, AJ.
Thank you, guys.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Now, normally we do it a little bit unorthodox with Real Talk Sports, but, we'll keep it cute. Since we're jumping out with the first one, just talk to me about What was the most enjoying part of your summer, non-basketball related?
The most what part?
The most enjoying part of your summer, non-basketball related.
I'd probably say it was my first time out the country. I'm not counting Toronto and Mexico right here, but I went to Turks and Caicos, so that was pretty fire. I went with my agent, so it was a good little vibe and a good time to get away. We didn't go away for too long. You know, I was there for just a weekend, and it was right back to work. But it was kind of good. My first little vacation, if you want to call it. But it was definitely needed. Definitely needed.
And then my next one, again, Real Talk Sports, we keep it a little bit fun. But if you could title this chapter of your life, what would you title it?
I'll just say it's a learning experience. So no matter what it is, trying to be a sponge in whatever situation I'm in. Learning from older guys, younger guys, doesn't really matter. Just like I just said, being a sponge and then taking what that is and then kind of putting my own little formula and cherry on top to that and just kind of form what I am. So, yeah, thank you.
Dwayne Price, Mavs.com. Brandon, what is it that you guys have to do to pick up where you left off last season but get those last 3 wins?
I'll say just, like you said, just pick up where we left off, keeping that defensive intensity up. I think that when we made that trade in February, we acquired PJ and Gaff, I think everybody kind of saw that notch kind of got turned. And it started with defense. On the defensive side, you know, Coach Kidd's always telling us to harp on the ball, and people on the backside going to have your back like D-Live and Gaff. So for us, just as guards, just to be most intense and bring as much pressure as we can to other guards, and we know our defensive rotation will be all right.
Where do you see Klay Thompson fitting in with this team, and what can he add not only on the offensive end but the defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, he has a lot to prove himself in terms of being written off and wherever the media was saying for him last year. So just coming into this year, I mean, we already seen it in pickups that we played. You know what I mean? The guy can slide his feet. The guy can, obviously, we know he can shoot. So he brings a lot to our team. He's going to create a lot of open shots for a lot of guys just because of his attention and his name itself. So it's just going to be fun to see.
Hey, I'm just curious how you would evaluate or classify Jason's style in his coaching style.
It's different than I'm used to. I was with Portland, so I'm used to Chauncey a little bit, but I mean they're point guards, Hall of Fame point guards. So the way they think the game's at a high level. Like I said earlier, just being a sponge of it, I'll be not that wise to not take something from him. So just coming in every day and just. I know he uses the word mental warfare all the time, so just coming in and just learning from him as much as I can.
Welcome, Kessler. Blake Elliott, 105.3 The Fan. Just what's your first impressions of the team, kind of being around them? A lot of players have talked about the camaraderie and kind of what your first impressions are.
Yeah, that would definitely be my first impression. I can see why they did what they did last year. It seems like all the guys are close. I think starting with, the Kyries and the Lukas, and then just welcoming Klay in, and then even guys like me. So that's definitely my first impression, just the chemistry everybody has.
Welcome, Kessler, back here. Joey Machado with Clutch Points. What do you say you can bring to this team, whether it's this season or down the road?
I think I just bring length, some versatility, definitely my three-point shooting, and just some defense, what I bring to the team, yeah.
Right here in the front, Valencia King with Real Talk Sports. Appreciate your time. Outside of basketball, what's something that the Mavs fans can learn about you? Are you a gamer? Are you into music? What's a fun fact about you?
Yeah, both of those. Not too much. Listen to a lot of music, play some video games. Nothing too crazy. Like to explore the city a little bit. So,
Offseason, what was the most enjoyable part for you outside of basketball?
Probably just getting to spend time with friends back home, and then honestly getting to hang out with some of the guys in LA too. Yeah.
Mike Curtis, Dallas Morning News. What have the conversations with Nico and Jason been like as far as your potential as a player in this league?
I think we're all excited and just can't wait to see me play in a Mavericks uniform. Like I said, just the shooting and the defense that I bring, I think both parties are excited to see what that looks like with this team.
Chris Henderson, chendo.com. So you talked about your interest off the court and different things, but if I was a fan, I want to know just for you growing up, who are some of your favorite basketball players, and who is a guy, if I had to do a blueprint of how your game is, a guy that I could compare you to?
So some of my favorite players growing up, just being from Southern California, Kobe. I also like Carmelo Anthony a lot growing up. As far as comparing myself, honestly, I'd say any 3-and-D wing in the league. Yeah, that's probably what I'd say right now.